Goddamn, I'm glad y'all set it off. In the words of Ice Cube, welcome to the show. It's Outlaw Radio on a Monday night, man. Live from the basement. Pause, if you will, to take a moment to pontificate with my partner and myself. I am Kevin Barnes, also known in some circles as the Negro Whisperer, the mayor, the militant with a microphone, the mouthpiece of the movement, aka the Negro Whisperer, right? The hip hop snob, right? The world-class smartass is what I'm trying to say. I have a lot of names, and so does my brother coming up, and you'll realize why I gave all my names after you hear his. What's happening, bro?
What's happening, y'all? How y'all doing out there? Everything is good my way, man. I'm gonna tell you, man, my garden is popping. I'm staying busy, man. The people are showing me love and everything. You know what I mean? It's all love around my way. But other than that, welcome to Outlaw Radio, where we talk that talk and we definitely walk that walk, raising vibrations and elevating thought. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you who I am. The black woman lover. I'm the black man's brother. I'm the culture teacher. I'm the hood healer. I'm the ghetto whiz doctor. I'm y'all holistic health and wellness coach. Come on, Carter. Peace to the family, y'all. How y'all doing out there? I'm also the one who brings you nature's natural herbs, supplements, and vitality. Yeah, this that strawberry one, y'all better get it. I'm telling you, it's a lot of the kids' favorites. One of my favorites is the original. But yeah, that's what it is. Welcome to Outlaw Radio, y'all. I could talk about my stuff all day long.
As well as you should be able to do that as well, right? Like that's a required skill. If you ain't advocating for yourself, who else gonna do it? We have a chat room, so if you want to comment on anything you hear on the show tonight, you can hop in the chat room. The phone number is running across the bottom of the screen. 262-202-5131. There's also a Cash App there for your pleasure, right? Or my pleasure, depending on how much you put in it. But so it's Outlaw Radio. We just come together, man, and just kind of close the gap on what happened the last time in which we spoke. And for you, Kamar, it was actually Monday, but we were on, Rail and myself were on last Wednesday. So we had a really good show. And you didn't get to see me like wallow in my I called it a victory. Some people might say I'm petty, and I am. Right, to a certain degree. But if you remember the show we did on that Monday night, and I kept saying, the city's trending in the wrong direction. The city's trending in the wrong direction. And you and I had a little coup d'etat. I think that's a word.
Well, we could call it what we want to, but we both was right, actually. You know what I mean? We just had different perspectives on what we was looking at.
It was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we said that, then the next day because we were on Wednesday, the sister Anita Holman gets fired from the director of the Office of Violence Prevention.
Is that the new leader?
Yeah, she just got hired in January.
Right. So she got fired, you said, or she quit?
She got fired. She was informed by the city that her time was up, and she was removed immediately. Yes.
Hey, ain't that kind of like how Obama stepped in a whole bunch of shit and then they put it off on him and started blaming him? I mean, I know he ain't do shit after that, but even still, you know what I mean? He wound up stepping in a bunch of shit, and a lot of the Republicans was like, well, look at what's going on. He's fucking up. But yeah, they like to point the finger at a motherfucker too.
Supposedly her removal was in essence because the city's trending in the wrong direction. That's the word that they give her, right?
Yeah.
So I ain't breaking my arm, pat myself on the back. I'm just saying it doesn't take a genius to see
well,
this.
You know, Kev, I told you was right. You know what I mean? The city itself as a whole, like you say, when you look at everything as a whole, yeah, it's trending in the wrong direction. I just started pointing at the fact that, you know what I mean? I try not to throw myself in that big pot, you know what I mean? Because see, you claim what you are, man. You know what I mean? If I say I'm the best, there's something I'm the best. If I'm trying to vibrate with this crowd that I feel like is vibrating right, they trending in the right direction, I'm a trend with them. You dig what I'm saying? But yeah, as a whole, I understand the city is fucked up. It is. You know what I mean?
And we don't even take the fact that I said it away out of the equation. The fact that it happened and why is something that we had a long discussion about last Wednesday when you weren't in. Rail, what's going on with you, bro?
Chilling, man. How y'all doing this evening?
Man, we tight like that,
right.
I see you, JC Terry said rock and roll. What's happening, my brother? Joey Phillips, what's up, big homie? Joshua Anderson said that's fire. Y'all, welcome to the show. Share the show. Outlaw Radio, live from the basement. Now I put all this stuff together, right? And it was that's fine, right? Because I gave myself some credit because I was saying that, right? Because, and I'm not a genius because I made that observation that the city was trending in the wrong direction. It's plain to see, especially if you're in a community. So we talked about that, and that's one thing. But then we have this weekend where we just had, what was it, 5 people in 5-hour shot on Sunday? And I, one thing I realized is sometimes talking about it in kind of like a tabloid news way or like a network news way, I feel like you just playing into like some certain schemes, right? So I think you got to talk about shit like that in the right perspective. So crime, we know, is a problem in the city, but then we also have, and I there's a lot of people that I want to say rest in peace to, but I want special prayer for our babies. I don't know if our kids, I don't know if our youngsters get it, right? And here's the twist. They go to state fair, they fight. I get it. I was young. I used to throw them when I was little, not on that scale, but what happens is now you can't go. Your whole age group can't go to state fair anymore. That's an easy solution for them to say, "Oh, y'all want to fight? You know what? Cool. Then y'all just can't come." So now next year, when people say ain't nowhere to go, I can't do nothing. Well, your ass used to be able to go here, here, and here, but since you want to fight every goddamn where, you sit your ass on that porch, right? So I
That's the
go ahead,
argument
Kamar.
I had about that skating ring when they was talking about our kids couldn't go to that skating ring. You know what I mean? Like it's a fact that they do bullshit when they go places. And if I had a skating ring, I wouldn't want this certain crowd at my establishment either.
That's why I
And
say
I'm
without
black.
your parents.
I'm
That's
black.
what I told my son. It's gonna turn into y'all can't come without your parents. And for those,
Yeah.
responsible teenagers that probably got jobs, got their own cars, moving and grooving on their own. Now they ain't gonna be able to do shit.
They
Parents
can't
be
even
busy.
kick it.
Now they like, damn. So, but
So
yeah, it's probably gonna turn into that. You can't do shit unless your parent is with you.
and also I want to say welcome to the show, Courtney. I ain't get
How
she
y'all
just
doing?
she just
Hey.
kind of poked her way up in the
You know
room
what
and just
I'm
started
saying?
talking like I'm up in the show.
Doing my drugs and being
Right.
cool,
That's that Milwaukee shit. That's that Milwaukee shit. What she say? She twist up her fingers and shit. Outlaw radio. She want to twist
Yeah,
up.
every time I be in the car and I hear like some East Coast music and I be in there throwing my fingers, I think about y'all.
Niggas still do finger signs on here.
It's funny because I don't even be throwing up nothing if they just be moving. It just be like,
So yeah, and look, I'm going with Kamar on it's you can't necessarily just focus on the bad, right? So I will say that there are a great deal of young people in the community who are actually doing what they need to do. But this element that chooses not to is my issue right now. Because I don't see any kind of there has to be some redemption. Like at one point they got to say, well, all right, let's and it's nothing like come on, man, you on Facebook, US State Fair, you straight throwing, you brawling, right? Now you fighting with security, everything. I once again been in there, been there, done that, right? But then when they say you can't come in there without your parents, then people want to say, oh, well, they don't want our black kids nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Is this unjustifiably the white man's fault? Like, because you just said as a business owner, as a black man, you didn't want their black ass in your business, Kamar. Like, if I had a state drink, I say no color.
As long as they acting up like that, no, I don't. I don't give a fuck if they was 40 years old and don't know how to act. Because we do got a bunch of them too. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them motherfuckers in my establishment either.
Right. We getting hot. We gonna get hot tonight about this shit. Rick Muhammad, he said, more fighting at State Fair, scratching my damn head. The toxic millennial generation. Looking at toxic black single mama parents. 80% of households in Milwaukee are headed by black women. It's y'all fault, Courtney. I just wanted you to know that.
look, I say all the time
I'm
that
just
black
joking.
fathers are necessary and black fathers matter. But I also say that when you drop them kids off at school, most of the time it's the mamas you see that be on that bullshit. Get your little motherfucking ass on. Shut the fuck up. And really the dads be smooth. Like we know it's some fucked up dads out here, but a lot of the times in the black community, these motherfucking mamas. I can tell you in my life, it was my mama that was, even to this day, she ain't right. So like, and then it said when I read more into it, her mama wasn't right. So yeah, it's
Well, a lot of us been fucked up from years ago. You know what I mean? Like our ancestors been fucked up from years ago. They didn't know it. They didn't know they was fucked up. You
right.
know what I'm saying? But now we at a point where we gaining and picking up information, pieces of information here and there, and we learning what's fucked up. You know what I mean? So we got to act accordingly and start taking advantage of that information.
You totally didn't answer that question the way I expected you to either. I just want you to know. I was looking for some super black woman shit to come out like this motherfucker. Don't tell me I did it. She was like, nah, actually, nah. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
some truth to that.
yeah, you know, other women be like seeing in the men, like, nah, man, if you go look around, if you go in these grocery stores, if you just be in the hood, it be these mamas ain't mama no more. Like,
She
don't
said
know,
these
man.
mamas ain't mama.
Yeah,
Uh-uh.
it's not the same. Definitely
Tyson
not the same.
Godsey, shout out to Tyson Godsey and Control C. I told my daughter she can't go out without me. Why? Because I know my daughter will fight. She not starting stuff, but some kids just pick with other kids. So my daughter,
Train to
TT.
go, Kev. Train
Oh,
to
okay.
go.
You know my old ass. I'm
I know
glad
you
you have
was
my back.
like
Hey, me and
TTG.
Kevin both was like
He
TTG.
doesn't like.
I don't
That
see
a
the phonics in
typo?
that shit. What? Is that a silent first T? I was confused as
I know you was.
I was
Did she
fucked
mean
up.
with sergeant? What she mean? What? I'm like,
yeah. I'm glad. Yeah, shout out to y'all, man. TTG. I dig that. Shout out to Paris Lashani. Say, hey, Outlaw Radio. Shay and Kruma from Frontline Black News and Shabaka's Black Experience. Yes, sir, man. Shout out to you, man, my brother. Good luck in your run for mayor and whatnot. This comes to at a time, and I didn't want to put this article in the People's News Network, but I actually did, and I was redundant in doing so because we've had this conversation so many times. But anytime you see a situation like what transpires at State Fair, you start to say, should we be whooping these kids' ass more? So then there's an article. Our whippings, people go back to, okay, well, is this happening because we ain't whooping our kids' ass enough at home? And I'm saying to myself, I don't necessarily think that's the issue, but it does seem like in some case, some of these kids seem like they maybe just needed an ass whooping at one point in their life to get them together, to put them on the right path. And I don't know, because I don't feel like ass whooping is that you have to give a kid regularly for years and years and years. If you have a child, you usually have to have the definitive ass whooping that he or she remembers way afterwards. Like, I'm never doing shit else again because dude hit me like a motherfucker with that belt. So you shouldn't have to be beating his ass every day. You know, Tybo and shit. You come in like it. So if you are, I'm saying, then it wouldn't work, right?
ass
So
whoopings made me worse though. Like it's different for everybody. Like ass whoopings is just like, oh, so you gonna put your motherfucking hands on me now, huh? So that's how I felt. And I know my 7-year-old, he doesn't take well to whooping. You tell him to do something, he may not feel like doing it or whatever. Then you whoop his ass. Now he just sitting there with hurt feelings, and he's still not gonna do it. You didn't just abuse his ass for no reason.
he gonna do it.
So now he's
He
sitting
gonna,
there like, damn.
he's 7.
Yeah, I did.
He gonna do it.
Well, mama
Yeah,
put that belt to my ass. I did. I got my ass right up.
Ow!
Okay, mama.
Shit. Boy, what you talking about? My mama was from Mississippi, right? That shit mean beat the shit out of your kid in Spanish. I'm trying to tell you, man. Because I mean, I'm trying to tell you, my mother was this martial artist. Like she kick you in your ass and all kind. You gonna get right. It ain't no
a martial artist.
Oh, he ain't gonna do it now because I whooped him. Shit, he gonna do it faster. From whenever I say something to him, he gonna move faster. And I did because I knew what the consequences like. You know, ain't like she fucking around. When she be like, "Hey, don't do that." It ain't really no after that. Didn't I? What the fuck? I told you don't do that, didn't I? You just learned the lesson. It's a teachable moment. Now, did I raise my kids like that? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because I didn't necessarily have to. One for one, but number two, I am one who said I feel like the whooping of the children is too much of a thing that we learn from our oppressors. Is that if you want to teach a black man something, when he mess up, you got to whoop his ass. Like you can't have a conversation with him, you can't reason with him. You got to take him, lay down, and you whoop his ass, and that's how you can teach him. And our parents kind of got it from the Jim Crow and passed it on to us. Like, okay, well, All right, you fucked up. Yeah, I fucked up. I'm sorry. I know you is. Lay your ass down. I'm about to whoop you with this extension cord. That's some slavery. Hitting a little kid with a fucking extension cord.
Yeah.
That is some goddamn chattel slavery type punishment. And not saying our parents did it intentionally, but it's what they knew. Like somebody has to be there to break the cycle. So I felt like in my family, that cycle would be broken. Like you ain't finna grow up getting kicked all in your ribs and shit and hit with ashtrays. And that's only like when that's just 1 year in my life. So it's 1 month. I'm saying that like I was abused, and I wasn't because I was bad as hell. So I deserve to get my ass whooped. I'm just saying she was willing to oblige me, right? Like, so, it's like, damn, Kev, another one.
I feel like some shit, man, it just was. I feel like some shit made me badder. Like, some of them ass whoopings was unnecessary. And I feel like women that are single with these children, they get in these relationships and they be letting their motherfucking boyfriends, whoop their kids, then that causes a whole different type of anger and that's a whole different thing. Now you can let your little boyfriend put his hands on me and shit, so that's what we on. So now, yeah, there's a lot of different factors to play into this.
I can understand it from that perspective, but hold on too. There's a flip side to that, because if that little boy or if that young man is living in a house with your guy, and your guy is like, no, I'm responsible here. I'm a factor here. I'm paying shit. I'm working. I'm putting food on the table. I'm eating. That little shit you playing in your room, that's my Wi-Fi you playing it on. If he's doing all of that and being consistent, trying to tell him, hey, man, that's what you need to do. Not over just force, just like rough handing him and say, hey, little bro, I'm here, man. So if he's doing that, then that little boy has to bow down and say, all right, man, you the man of the house. All that shit then, when you ain't my daddy. You weren't saying that last night when you was shoveling goddamn Topper's pizza in your mouth.
Right.
Don't eat my pizza
Hey,
shit.
look, and that you ain't my daddy shit, the type of shit to make you just bring your own kids some food.
Goddamn right.
Right. Yeah. I had an incident when I was a teenager. I was in 8th grade. I was 13. And I stole my mama truck. And she had a husband, a boyfriend, and this wasn't his truck. He didn't help purchase this truck. I don't recall him being too special in my life for us spending time and talking and kicking it. But anyway, as I was pulling back up to pick my cousin up, and I saw the lights on in the house, I'm like, oh, shit, niggas is awake. So we get in a mini high-speed chase. I swerve in the alley. I hop out. He chasing me. He get to chasing me. And what does he do? He busts me in my shit. He busts me in my shit a couple of motherfucking times. And I tried to kill him after that. I definitely did. So I think some of these situations with some of these men, and then it's crazy. I know a couple females, I didn't know at first, but I know a couple females with kids and got killed by men. Like little kids, like 5, 7.
I ain't gonna lie. As soon as you said you was stealing your mama truck, I knew this story was gonna take a dark turn. So I was like, this can't get nothing but
then
worse.
I just feel like there's no reason for you. What the fuck you putting your hands on me for? I understand this is your lady or whatever, but me and her daughter, that's something.
Definitely not. Definitely not. First of all, ain't no grown man ever got no business punching no girl, no female. Like little girl, woman, nothing. To ball your fists up and hit a female makes you a straight mog. I don't know if that's an old school Milwaukee word, but I
like mog. It's my favorite.
Right. You a mog. You a whole mog. Who ain't from Milwaukee? What the fuck is that, nigga? It's a mog. Look it up. It's a mog.
Hey, that's a word that I don't know. I don't know if anybody ever had the right words to really describe what it is, because it could be all kind of shit. It's a whole bunch of shit wrong with a mog,
Right. And at one point, I really thought I was intelligent and I knew what it meant. So I said one day, I'm gonna break this word down. And I said, is he part-time Mark and part-time dog?
I was just gonna say a Mark ass nigga.
I realized I didn't know what the fuck it meant either, but I still use it. So it's a Milwaukee word.
Yeah. You a sucker. That's what
use a whole mog though. If you hit females, and then to do that, you overstepping your boundaries. Because first of all, if you in your mama truck and you running, I'm not chasing you. Fuck, I'm gonna do. I'm gonna arrest you. No, let her drive. She going to jail. Just call the police. When she come back in the house, just had the police in here. Like, how you doing? Yeah, come on with us. Now you can go on out to St. Charles and spend the weekend in DT, do all that. You stealing from your own family. That's a lesson. That's a teachable moment to say, girl, it ain't even about the truck. It's about that you stole your mama truck. The fact that you would have steal a truck. I mean, I'm not, I'm putting myself too into this situation.
I was just cruising. That's all I was doing. I was just in a little bit of traffic. A little bit of traffic.
Right. Maybe he was trying to prove his love to your mama. Maybe he's trying to show I'm down. I hit your daughter in her shit for you.
You know my damn nerves. And I definitely, in that type of thing, that leads to, like I said, I can't imagine that happening to a male. You know what I'm saying? I know my male neighbors was outside, some teenage dudes, they saw it, and like me being a female, I tried to kill him the best way I could that I could think of. My mom made some dinner, I put bleach in it. I was in 8th grade, so to me, it was like, this nigga gonna die. But he didn't, but
It's just getting better and better. This is Outlaw Radio. Monday night, right?
But then look, I got older,
the
got
limitation on putting bleach in people's food.
I didn't kill him. I was like, ooh wee, nigga.
Right. Razzle dazzle. Yeah, and you know what? To that, I can honestly say one of my cousins, shout rest in peace, man. My cousin, man, my right hand man. I swear, my partner. We was real close growing up, man, and he was always a little bit off because of his relationship with his stepfather. And even though, I know his dad, they live right down the street. But the way my cousin used to behave, I could see even then, I could see why his stepdad was the way he was sometimes. Because my cousin was a nutty buddy. Like he was, like the shit you talking about, Courtney, that's the kind of shit dude would be doing. Like we be coming home riding with our pops, they car up on somebody's grass up the street, and the police all around, and they got him in handcuffs. You done stole your mama car and tried to smash and went and ran up on the grass up the street, right? So I used to be like, dude, why don't you just chill? And he'd be like, man, dude ain't my pops. He be trying to tell me what to do. But you live in his house, like he is part of, he's with your mom. You got a little brother, you know what I'm saying? But I always felt like it was damaging to him. Like even when he died, like when he died, the way he died was tragic. And I was just like, man, his stepdaddy was like, no, I always loved Brian. I was like, I know you did. He told me that. He said, I always loved him, man. But that boy, he was something else. I said, yeah, I know. He's hell to take to the captain. So the stepdaddy stuff is this thing that a lot of young black males have to go through in this city, right? So if that's the case, then I guess my thing would be to young black women or black women who are single, who have children or want to have children. Maybe you should do the best you can if you have children to find the right dude, not just for you, but to be around your family, right? Because you be like, girl, like I know I like that shit. I like what he do, but you got 3 kids.
Yeah,
it's got to be right for you and your kids. You can't have a dude around who just, you know what I'm saying? That's how you end up finding years later that he did something to one of your daughters. You knew that nigga wasn't shit. Had him sitting up in here kicking and pimping the shit out of you. So I don't know. Is that hating real? How's that? Am I running the foul of the game?
That's true.
They're like, hold on, baby. No.
Man, I don't condone any of that shit, man. You know, okay. I have a stepchild, or I've been raising her for 10 years now. So
that's your child,
right. It's my child, but it for a while it was me kind of being mindful of how I talk to her and shit like that, just because I never wanted to give the impression that she's treated any differently than my blood, So when you're dealing with children like that, bonus children as they call it do get a little sticky. But then again, I am not above fucking a child up. I mean, you stealing cars and shit. I mean, I don't condone him punching you in your face and no shit like that, but a motherfucker would have been in some stress positions overnight or something.
I'm saying, but look, and then to go on with the story, like after niggas got beat up, the police came, and I guess my face, I must take punches well. It wasn't like I had bruises. Even the day after, I don't recall no bruises. But then after that, the police came, they left, and my cousin was there. He bust her in her shit too. She just recovering. My mom's standing there. She sees this. She's in the doorway. She sees it. But after all of this, niggas go in the house and get a whooping by him. And it's just like, these are also the things that create some type of hate and some type of feeling towards your parent as well. It's like, oh, fuck you. You didn't just wait. So this is what you just allowed to happen?
This is your villain background story.
You do realize you started all this, right? You do realize that you started all this by stealing the truck, right?
Right.
Yeah. Like I feel like she's leaving a very important point out.
What I'm saying, I feel
you just come home from cheerleading practice. You didn't just come home from cheerleading practice and get fucked up. You came. You was driving around in a high speed.
I wasn't high speeding. I wasn't like the kid boys. I told you I've never been pulled over. I've never gotten accidents. I was just cruising like the average person. You wouldn't even know when I stole it. You would thought I was 17-year-old my L's or something. It turned into a high-speed chase when I pulled up to pick my cousin up, and niggas was outside, and her husband jumped in his van and chased me. It was like, oh, then niggas swerved through the hood real quick. That was all.
Okay.
And then it wasn't even really a high-speed chase. I just swerved in the alley and hopped out.
So you don't see how you could have prevented this at all?
I do see. I could have not took the vehicle, but a whole bunch of unnecessary things happened that needed not to happen. If my son took my vehicle right now, look, I took the vehicle a couple times.
You probably slapped the shit out your son if he took your car.
I probably would, but I'm
You
not
probably
gonna let nobody else do no shit to him.
As soon as you see him, you probably take off on him. Wow, what you stole my car?
I would though, Kev. You see how you said that? I would. My mama should have. She said, "Wow, she should have did that. Bring your motherfucking ass. She should have."
Your mama was standing in the doorway, like, fuck him up, Charles.
Right.
Fuck him up, Charles.
She was like, do that. While he sat there looking like, that's right, baby.
I feel like this is the movie Juice when they walked off on Tupac and he was beat up by the Rotter Man.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Your mom's just like, nah. Hey, but I don't know. Y'all tell me to whoop or not to whoop. I think it's a balance. I think first of all, if you're gonna physically punish your children, you have to have a foundation built with them, right? So that's to say, you had not been around for the last 10 years and come through the door talking about, I'll fuck you up. Nah, bruh, you finna lose. You have to have a foundation and a relationship with your children so that they understand even when you do physically do whatever to them. I mean, and I ain't talking about you kicking the shit out of them saying, I'm sorry, I'm gonna buy you some ice cream. I'm saying if I do got to spank your ass a little bit and it hurted a little bit, you looking at me, I want you to understand, well, he wasn't trying to kill me, he's trying to get my attention. So I'm just going.
Hey, I think if you got a son, your son out here fucking people up doing dumb shit, you need to beat their ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they doing fucked up shit to other people.
Yeah.
It's too far gone when he's 17.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like you still got to do your part.
Yeah.
A male
so you got to do something, and talking, obviously talking ain't been doing it.
What was you saying, Courtney?
Or do like the brother did, call the police on him, get him locked up.
Armando Duckworth, that's what he said he done.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep, shout out to Armando.
You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, you got to do something, man. That's your responsibility.
Yeah, you got to.
You know what I mean? Your son are fucking people up. I might have to fuck him up to show him a lesson. You know what I mean? This is where you headed, dog.
Yeah.
I don't know. A friend of mine told me that the crucial years with boys, and it was before I made it to them crucial years, was basically, I think, like 12 or 13. He was like, that's when shit start getting real. Maybe even 10. You need to really start tuning in and locking in on their ass before they do get astray. And a lot of times people don't. They still see them as that elementary kid and don't really see the transition happening.
I would say 8 years old for a boy. And I'm gonna tell you why, because that early, toddler to 4, 5, oh, cute little boy, he's so cute. He don't know nothing. He ain't. By the time 8 roll around, he got a little understanding of what it means to defy you, right? Like he finna jump off the porch. So you got to start tightening up on him gradually like that. Like, hey man, check this out. Don't do that shit. Like, because a little boy, especially at that age, he'll test you. Yeah. And you be like, don't do that. And he'll do it. And you got to say, hey man, didn't I tell you not to do that? I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna smack the shit out of you. Do that shit again. And he'll look at you and be like, what? And sometimes you got to grab his hand, pop him on his hand. Don't do that. You don't do that. And he'll look at you and be like, damn, nigga, calm down. I'm 8.
Okay, you catch him early and you teach him to listen to you.
Right. Yeah. I be popping them dead in their mouth, 7-year-old now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a fan of the whoopings, but the poppings and the pop, we right there in your mouth. What I say?
Immediate straightening.
I didn't have to get on my boys that often. Like honestly, my boys are now 18 and 17, and they still, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, dad, can I please have?
That's what's up.
I never really had to get on them like that because I started at an early age. Like my family used to train dogs and shit. And so not saying the kids are like dogs, but
where the fuck is this going?
I didn't know where we was going, but okay.
But what it taught me was that the most valuable thing with training anything is consistency. The problem is a lot of parents no is no today, but no ain't no tomorrow. So you teach your kid to shoot they shot every time. You know what I'm saying? So I was very consistent with my children. And also what I made it a point to do was they know I don't lie. So if I say, hey, do that again and daddy gonna get you, they already know what it is because I don't lie. So I didn't really have to put hands on my kids a lot because they were trained at an early age, and I made it a point never to touch my kids out of anger.
Right.
So they might get a quick little hand pop. I said no. Daddy said no. Like not even enough to hurt them, but no, we don't do. You know what I'm saying? So they already know by the time they old enough to calculate that shit, what daddy don't stand for. Sneaking, lying, and bullying is it'll get you fucked up. No, I'm not taking any explanations. None of that shit. I catch you in a lie. I catch you sneak. I don't like hoe ass shit. And I've always considered that hoe ass shit. And I never wanted my sons to be hoe ass niggas. So don't lie to me. Don't sneak. You don't say shit you can't repeat. Don't do anything you can't discuss. You did that shit, stand on the 10 toes.
Don't be doing that hoe ass shit.
Tasha James Tasha James said, I hate the popping and whooping is so traumatic for the culture. I believe it's ways to get kids to listen without conflicting. I think she meant inflicting, or am I? Somebody tell me who made a mistake there.
Probably inflicted pain on
them. All right. I don't know.
I say that a lot though, because I be seeing, in the white folks, they don't always got to beat their kids, and they turn out to be assholes.
Well, you know,
the thing is this. Oh, my bad, fam.
I've said this a million times. Let's not underestimate the effects of a good ass whooping. Like, let me explain a good ass whooping to you. You remember that shit when you forget everything else. And sometimes in life, you got to get an ass whooping. And certain people have to get their ass whooped because, once again, we go back to this habitual line stepper thing. Right? So you have a kid and you say, I don't want to traumatize him. I don't want to make him feel like he's a slave. So his whole life, all he do is walk around crossing boundaries and violating people.
Yeah.
You know what's going to eventually happen to him? He's going to get his ass whipped. And hopefully when it happens, he says, oh, shit, I need to calm down. I'm about to go to MATC and be a barber and shit and all this. Unless or he can go the other way and be like, I'm about to stay strapped, woo. But I'm saying an ass whooping is very powerful. It's a very powerful thing. So I don't want to totally take ass whoopings out the equation for parents, because that always has to be a weapon in your toolbox. Because if I keep telling you not to do something and you continuously do it, all I got is my go-to. I'm gonna break the glass and pull it out. It's ass whooping time now. I done told you 5 times. It's time for you to get your ass whooped. Now, shout out to my kids because they didn't require a lot of that either. Like you said, everybody said that. Rail said his sons didn't. My son don't require all that either. What he does require though is maintenance checks.
Yeah.
You feel me? Sometimes I got to check his temperature and say, hey man, hold on, check this out. Woo. Bong, 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 wow, right? So he'll say, oh, I'm not trying to hear that shit. What did I just say? Every now and then. Ain't about me.
That's all kids, though. You know what I mean? They get loose and you got to reel them back in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With my kids, I never had to whoop my kids either. I'm not sure if this is what it is with mine, but always, whenever I told them not to do something or they can't do something, I would tell them why.
Right,
you know what I mean, a lot of the time it's in the understanding on why you shouldn't do this. Because a lot of the time they can do some bad shit and don't realize how dangerous it is.
Yeah. And that was one great thing about my mom. Before she made you lay down, because we used to have to lay down across the bed, and she would get a belt, and you had to lay there, and she would explain to you what your charges were before she whooped you. You hear, because 5 times you walk around this motherfucker like you don't give a fuck, you don't hear that. I'm tell you what. That's why I'm finna beat your ass. And then you had to lay there and get strapped until she was tired, right? So
until she was tired? Damn.
Yeah, when you think it's going in.
See, y'all done had real ass whoopers. You keep talking about ass whoopers. Remember,
I don't have some. No,
I got some I remember, but I don't remember them just because they broke me down. I
remember getting my ass whooped one time, and I hollered out, "I'm gonna call child services, motherfucker." God damn, I still remember that ass whooping.
But y'all talking about this about the whooping and stuff with the children, but also this is from the male standpoint with y'all children. So I feel once again, it is definitely totally different with men
It
and
is.
dealing with their children, where a lot of these households is just women. And you know, I have this son. My son is 15 now, and he's 6'1". Like who? I mean, some of these women be out here fighting. You know what I'm saying? Actually beating on their kids. Really, they gonna fight that 6'1" boy. But me, I just couldn't see. I'm finna go grab a belt. I'm finna
No, no,
slap
no,
the
no,
shit
no.
out. Like, what am I finna do with him?
At that point, the window for ass whooping should be closed. It's like I
Should be.
said, once you 16, say I ain't finna be chasing you around. You supposed to know better. Cause
Yeah.
the thing I'm about to do now, if you still on that shit, I got the countdown. Cause you 16, you got 18. When that shit come, you out the dough for the dough. No doubt. You're out. So I wanted to say this though. I got growing up was known as a Kosciuszko, Mississippi ass whooping. So my mother and them was straight out to Jim Crow South. We got our ass whooped. It wasn't even really a big deal. It was just like, what's going on in there? Dude fucked
Right,
up.
right,
Kev
right.
sound like he got slave ass whooping.
He
Man,
did. I know he did. You know, Kev.
I mean, I got a couple of them. You know, the
Yeah,
ones
He got
where
Kev got his
slave
ass
beat.
whooped.
you know, I got a
hey,
couple
look,
of. I mean,
hold on. Man, then my mother
yeah.
set your ass up because you be trying to be tough laying there. She be like, "Oh, you ain't gonna cry, huh?" And whoop your ass harder. You be like, then when you start crying, she be like, "You better stop all that goddamn hollering. I'm gonna give you something to holler about." Man, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do here. The psychological part of it was the worst part, but no, I'm sorry, real. Go ahead, man.
I know. I was just gonna say. I mean, I got whoopings, and it all depended on who was whooping because it wasn't just my mother and my father. Like,
Okay, yeah.
Right.
it was the aunties and shit like that had the switches. You know what I'm saying? The 3 leaves at the tip of the switch. You know, to get you. So I did get them, but it just taught me to look at ways that I could do it differently. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Right.
I've had to be stern with my kids at times, but most times I could appeal to their intellect, to their reason, and just like me, I got to an age where I feared disappointing my parents more than the actual ass whooping.
Yes. We got a
But
caller.
yeah,
We got a caller.
Hello.
Caller, turn down your device.
Okay, I'm turning it down right now.
What's your name and where you calling from? Welcome to Outlaw Radio.
Hi, this is Beauty.
Okay.
And I hear y'all talking about the whoopings and everything and how people don't get whooping or didn't get whoopings or how she got a 6 feet tall son that's however old. It's all about the respect that you teach them when you're carrying your children. Some people it comes with that too. Because I got my behind whooped when I was young. And it taught respect everybody, not just some people, but everybody, even my peers, and what not to do and what not to get into. And I hear that it's like the system is done messed up these kids and some of the parents too.
Okay.
And they make it look good when they say, okay, my mom went to jail. My mom dare not ever hear that word. Like he said, his mama say he said he was gonna call the police on his mama or whatever.
Whoa.
What's his name?
Kamar
Kamar.
Oh
said
yeah.
that.
The CPS.
Witch
Yeah,
doctor.
any of
Yeah.
that.
I got scared when he said it because you ain't never said that shit to my
Right,
mama.
like
Your
I
ass.
mean,
Hey, Kev,
I'm grown up now, and you ain't scared of your mama still. I'm still scared of my mom, man. She's 6 feet deep.
Mama,
I'm still scared
right.
of my mom.
hey,
Yeah,
Kev,
You know what
right.
I mean? So I
hey,
don't
Kev.
right, like certain things I can't say because I be like, hunching up, like, because my mama gonna hit me on the back of my head. But these kids nowadays, they say whatever they want to say. No
Well, they
respect.
taught you can't do nothing to them.
Because I told the
That's
CPS
where the
people on my
problem
mama.
is.
I did.
See, and then when your kids do it to you, you be like, why you doing it? Why you being disrespectful? Because it was down the line. You did, that's sometimes kids just follow suit. What they, follow suit, and
right.
also the system the revenue for the system
Okay.
to put parents in jail, and then these kids. Look at all the stuff these kids is doing right now. They got these drugs that they're taking. They wrecking cars. They doing all kinds of stuff. Did you do that when you was little?
Kinda.
I was
I
gonna
did.
say, yeah, we had the same stuff in my
Right.
area.
Courtney, like, yeah, me too, right?
I mean,
Kamar,
but
like,
you know,
yeah,
we
I
had
don't know.
Hey,
everybody
he
was more
wasn't
like
wrecking
dope
them so
dealers.
much.
You know, they was getting dope rentals, and so they were more responsible with their driving, and they were
She's
selling
still
the
telling on
drugs more
herself.
so.
No, no, Courtney, like, yeah, and then there was the
Right.
Gambino shit, right? And so we had,
Right.
you know, some of the bosses was lost in Vegas. No,
My bad.
Right.
no, but I'm saying, see, I talked about my mama being like a real beltician. Like, she was cold with the shit. But she also had 2 boys, and she told me this when I got grown. She told me this. She said, "Listen, I had 2 sons, and I didn't want either one of you motherfuckers to be soft, and I didn't want y'all to be thieves or liars. So anytime y'all cross the line with boundaries and shit like that, yes, I got in your ass, and that's the only way I knew how to do it." I said, "Mama, it kind of worked. It kind of didn't." Because on one hand, what you said was law in the crib. But when I was gone, that toughness you gave me from getting the ass whoopings helped me whoop other dudes' asses very well. I became very good at it. So it kind of worked and it kind of didn't. So, I mean, I see people in the chat room right now saying, and I want to get everybody's comments because I think it's very important, especially with what the sister brought up about, we see State Fair, we see the Kia joints, we see,
Yeah.
we see all of this.
On.
But then we still want to try to coddle these kids and say, but they poor, or we say, man, look, check this out, man. Police get their hands on you and they beat your ass. I don't feel sorry for you. I can't say that as a black man, though.
I can't either, but let me tell you what I saw the other night, Sunday night. These kids sat and put a car on fire, blew up 2 blocks away from the police station on Lisbon. They standing there video recording it, and I'm by the explosion. Like, what is going on? The police is right here. They ain't heard nothing. So I said, what y'all got y'all building bulletproof so y'all can't hear or see nothing? It's a car. Almost 2 cars on fire. So do they pay attention to what these kids are doing? Do they care? On the inner city. But if you can't go out to Brookfield and blow up a car, you can't go out to Fox Point and blow up a car. They're not doing it there. They're not doing. They're messing just up the inner city. Where's Lena Taylor? Where's Gwen Moore? Where's Kamara? The people that's supposed to be the aldermen. Where are these people at?
Well,
but what are they supposed to do though? I mean, because if the parents can't even control their own kid, what are these random people that just have titles supposed to be able to do?
They get money for the community, so apparently they need to do something. Build some buildings like they doing in every other community.
What? In a sense, it's almost like it's on them to figure out what to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? They get money for this shit. They getting funds for this. It's on them to figure it out. Like, I mean, we don't have the answer. We don't got that job. I didn't sign up for that. They did, but they
got all of that money. They got all of this money. What are they doing with that money?
I have to enter. I got to step in here because I can't say, as a social service professional for over 20 years, a lot of that money is going into the community. There are programs out here for people. Well, if you get to the point in this community where you're like, I need some help, there are organizations here and places that you can get some help from. Are they one size? I'll fix all your, no. Sometimes you might have to have a network at 2, 3 of them, right? Like to say, oh, I go over here for my job referrals. I go over here for my food voucher. Until you can get on your feet, you got to figure out, it's called eating off the land, right? And so that money is there. So I don't want like, and there's a lot of programs, and I'll give you this because once upon a time I worked at MATC. We offered free welding classes for about a year or 2. Free welding classes. They went out. Hold on. They went out. They recruited. They did everything they could. We couldn't get enough kids to sign up on the north side, so they just moved the whole thing to the south side. Then the program filled up.
Hey, when she was just speaking on like them, and we were saying what they should be doing, we was talking about crime. You
Right.
know what I mean? And so I was just saying that it's on them. It ain't on our shoulders to figure out what to do. They get money for that. You know what I mean? To stop crime. They
But
get money
having
for that
money
shit.
just don't stop crime just because we got some money. I
I
mean,
get it.
that's
I get
it's
it.
not
I get that. I get that. I'm just saying, like, it's on their shoulders. They signed up for
for
that.
that job. Yeah,
But I
yeah.
gotta get Tasha James. Tasha James in the chat room. She said no. She said no. I'm trying to figure out how she said it. No, no. Like she said no. Right, right. Or did she clap with it like I don't know. So she said no. That doesn't mean the kid won't know boundaries. That's not true at all. Fear is one thing, direction is another thing. The culture has it bad with wanting kids to do something and not say why. It's an understanding thing. She said they want to be treated like they matter. Kamar said it best. He practiced explaining why not to do something. Okay, I can ride with that. I don't totally disagree with that, but I do think as a parent, there has to be a certain amount of fear at first. I think as the child gets older and they become more aware and how to conduct themselves, then they say, nah, I ain't, because like my kids ain't scared of me now. Like they laugh at me and shit, like, come on, dad. Like, and it depends. If I get really
It
fucking
should, and really, I think it should be the fear of disappointment.
right, that's a good one.
Right.
But now when they were
The
6 and
fear of us
7,
being disappointed in them. You know what I
when they were
mean? Should
6 and
make them not
7,
want to do something.
I'm a big dude. When they were 6 and 7, 6 years old, and I get to yelling, they'd be like, oh, they were scared. So they got themselves uptight. Now, yeah, that didn't last. So I agree with her on that. And you shouldn't be trying to enforce that. You tell you I'll blow your motherfucking head off. Whoa, bro, that's your son. She said, let me see. She said, Tasha James said the reason to whoop a kid is for them to listen to you. I think it might not necessarily be listen, but it might be pay attention. Because sometimes you learn more without hearing words than you do through words, right? Because like my mama would give you certain looks, right? You knew the ass whooping look, right? So when you fucking up and you turned around and you look and she was like this, you're like, oh shit, let me back up off this because I'm about to up, right?
Hey, you knew to shut up. You knew to either shut up, sit down, or move
You fucking
around.
up. You especially in church. When she look around and be like, you be like, oh shit. So and she tell you later on, I wish you would have had done that in there. I was gonna knock your ass out. I know, I seen you.
See,
Right?
that's
Nonverbal
when the shit
communication.
came maybe in my ear because my mama gave me that look and I still say whatever I was saying because she, like I be saying something you wasn't supposed to say. I'm saying it now, nigga. Too late.
Habitual
Your
line
looks can't
stepper
stop
in
me now.
training,
Words
right?
coming out.
Yeah. You would have
You
caught a
was a
judo
habitual
chop.
line stepper in training, Courtney. I'm just stealing your shit.
Right.
Fuck you. I said I want mom. I hate you. Like, what the fuck is this shit? 8 is enough? What the fuck is going on? Shout out to he said, I think it's no real blueprint to it. The goal should always be to just simply have conversations in hopes that they get the message. Now, as an educator, it's beyond talks for some, primarily because there's no real teaching. No real teaching was done or real boundaries were set early on. I totally agree with you. And I've been a classroom teacher for MPS and I taught self-contained special education. So I'm traumatized from that shit. Check be damned. I'm still traumatized behind that shit. But I couldn't come in there and just whoop ass. I had to really play chess with the kids. And it had to be wrapped around their IEP or their individualized education. So I had to really say, man, I'm this little motherfucker get on my nerves so goddamn bad. In my head, I would be saying that. But out loud, I'll be like, no, you got to calm down. You got to sit down. You just got to relax. In my head, I'm saying, sit your little retarded ass down. Out loud. It was a long time ago. I don't teach no more.
A long time ago.
Right, it was. Everyone is different. Not everyone have the same boundaries. You right. I mean, we all right. That's the one thing about Outlaw Radio is if you have an opinion and you can articulate it, guess what? You right. See? No.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. No, he said you right. I don't like how he said it.
You're right.
I got a question.
Yes.
I have a question.
Okay.
How many people have died in the last 30 days?
That's a good question. A lot.
and y'all know voting is coming up. So y'all really try to pay right. Look how close that is. How many votes are you going to get tomorrow so the Republicans don't do the indifferent for the community?
Repeat that question one more time. I'm sorry, I missed it. I missed the question, Courtney. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
No, I was reading the
Voting
comments.
is tomorrow, and we've lost how many people from January until now?
Okay.
So the Republicans are trying to get the abortion thing and all of this stuff that don't matter to men.
I think it does matter to men. Men is we got.
Let's say it don't matter. Let's say it don't matter to some men.
Okay.
Some men, because it shouldn't be a man's choice whether a woman gets an abortion or not. But I don't even understand how it got on the ballot. That's not something that.
Well, it got on there. It got on there because see, white men through the history of white mandom. You know what I'm saying? They've been trying to take control of people.
Yeah.
White women, they want control of white women. They've been holding them back. That's where the whole feminist movement started. You know what I mean? They were shitting on their own women. And then they tricked our women into getting into that shit and hating on us. So like white men been trying to control us, you know what I mean, since the beginning of white mandom.
And you know what's funny, G?
I like that, Kamar. I like that. I like how you took a shot at feminism. I'm liking it. I love the energy over there. Like, yeah.
Smart man.
Like, boom.
Go ahead.
Well,
while we talking,
go
while
together,
we talking about right, because while we talk about whooping people, you know, actually, it was them that did it first. Like when you talk about when people say the rule of thumb, we got the rule of thumb from white men being able to get a stick and beat they women as long as it was no thicker than their thumb. So that's where the rule of thumb come from. So while we talking about beatings and shit like that, you know, so yeah, them beatings go way back to them Caucasus Mountains.
Coming with
now it's a law that you can't do it because it's abuse and it's domestic violence and it's all of this other stuff.
As long as it ain't thicker than your thumb.
Right.
I think, you know.
It was just a little foreplay. We want to do nothing serious.
Deteriorated fast. We was talking about some positive shit. All of a sudden, this started talking about foreplay.
Okay, right.
Get the show back to that. Right? Sound like grown people need their ass whooped sometimes too, right?
Grown people enjoy it. That's the thing.
Oh Lord, there we go.
Here we go.
All right. Let's start. Kamar finna start. You better start loving on yourself. You ain't loving on yourself, cuz.
Oh my gosh.
You ain't doing it right.
You gotta love harder at night, man.
Shit.
Outlaw is the reason why I call them that, right? Like that's real. But no, all of this conversation is basically centered around we can laugh and we can joke, but the reality is we got to figure out something to do about our young people, right? And I'm more disturbed when I see young people behaving like this because once again, I've worked with young people in almost every capacity, from little kids all the way up to college kids. I've worked with them for, like I said, the last 20 years, and so I know that there's been times when I had to exercise some tough love, right, and just really be brutally honest with a kid, or even to the point where I've had to get up in one of my little youngsters, one of my mentees' face before and be like, check this out, man. About to drop your little ass. You got to calm down. You know what I'm saying? I'd like for real. Like listen, when I worked for NPS, man, one thing I wasn't going to do is I wasn't going to come home injured by no kid. So I don't give a fuck how tough you was. I was ready for combat. What was it? TTG? Ain't that what I learned?
Right.
Earlier?
Trying to go.
Trained to go. Right. Yeah. And I had some situations where I had to put a youngster on his back. Pow. You know what I'm saying? Ghetto karate tactics. And he, yeah, okay. I'm not fucking around with you. Right. So I don't want to ever, I think that's a part of masculinity that we as black men need to be kind of putting back into our kids and saying, into our young men, especially saying, it's okay to have it, but let me show you how to use it. Because we getting this, one of the biggest things we ain't talked about tonight with all of this homicide and this is the DV murders, right? And how many women have been murdered in Milwaukee. To the point where you gonna shoot her and her daughter? What the fuck was y'all arguing about? What the fuck was they arguing about? Like, so we talk about, and we've had the sisters on here who are over domestic violence. What's this, Samantha Collier, and we've had all them on there. We've talked about domestic violence and all this kind of stuff to like real deep ends, right? And so I'm saying, but these is youngsters, young black males a lot of times. Crystal Ship said my mom's role was to explain. My dad chose to discipline. My dad's way of discipline was to put hands on us. I didn't agree with his way primarily because he would drink and then discipline. I didn't respect him when he was tipsy. Yes, I feel he was valid regarding why he was upset at us, but not being able to control your temper. Damn, I'm remedial. Or allow alcohol to dictate how he discipline us wasn't cool. Now, you know what? I can feel you on that, Crystal, because that does change the dynamic almost totally. When you say somebody's gonna get inebriated and then discipline, I couldn't even imagine my wife would even let me. If I'm off my sauce, I couldn't even. She'd be like, "No, you had to talk to him tomorrow. Like, you ain't finna do this. You know what I'm saying? I'd be in the room all in this shit. I'm whoop your ass in the morning when I wake up. You know what I'm saying? That'd be wrong. And that would be foul. Like my daughter, if I'm buzzed, she ain't fuck with me. I ain't because I whoop her. She just like, I just don't like you when you drunk. Point blank, period. It ain't no other reason, Dad. I'm not fucking with you. Get to talking to me and shit. I don't want to talk to you. I'm like, all right, well, at least we understand each other. Right? So I guess you would be in your room for the rest of the night, huh? So
see, that's the danger though, man. That's the danger of it. Like, even when I discipline my children, there at no point there's ever a time where they doubt that I'm doing this out of love. You know what I'm saying? So like,
right.
I rarely even raise my voice to my children. Like, even with that, it's like, hey, look, do that again, and Daddy's gonna have to get you. So sit down and be quiet. You know what I'm saying? So I don't, because I grew up in a house where I got hollered at, I got threatened, shit like that, and I understand how traumatic, even if you're not putting your hands on a child, it's fucked up. Hey, when you get home from school today, I'm whooping your ass. It's like, damn. Now I'm at school all day thinking about an ass whooping.
I had a good
Didn't I
story
tell you to take the
about
garbage out last night? Go ahead and have a good day at school, because when you get home, I'm beating your ass. And like, you come home and you don't get your ass whooped, but all your whole day was fucked up because you thinking about this ass whooping. So I make it a point not to threaten my children, not to raise my voice, anything like that. And because I'm a man that they always can respect, they know that my heart is always in it, and it ain't nothing I'm not gonna do for them. So I think that's the dilemma too, and it kind of go back to what we was dealing with earlier today when you talk about what's legal and what ain't legal. Alcoholism is a plague on our families. If more children had stoner fathers versus drunk ass daddies, a whole lot of these children would be better off.
Well, maybe I'm sorry. Maybe if they didn't have 5 liquor stores in one block, maybe all of that would be going on.
Well, hold on now. Leave the liquor store alone. See, the liquor store ain't done nothing. You get in here and say this. Like, I don't want okay.
No, it's not turning against. I'm just saying, for a strong community, you need things that's building strong communities. Well, and liquor and all of these vape houses, all of that stuff. That stuff is doing things to your system. It's not building strong bones.
I love this.
I love this. Taking away 100 years of your life.
Y'all, everybody on here, I want you to know right now, all y'all naturally talented, because this is a perfect segue into where I'm finna go. Crystal Ship. I wrote a contract once I understood enough. Every time he got tipsy, I pulled out the contract out the cabinet, and he would he couldn't address me until he sobered up. Over time, we got an understanding. That's what's up. That was a great way to deal with it.
But these men are just naturally crazy nowadays. A lot of it's not.
Damn.
My bad, y'all.
But
like, not the alcohol, because we was talking about the DV murders. That's where we started, DVs and the alcohol. But look, I went to the bank the other day. I made an appointment to go to the bank. There was 2 people in front of me, an old lady and a dude, a short, light-skinned fella, kind of small. And I came in there and I'm letting them know I had an appointment. So the security like, oh no, but they waiting. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna leave. The banker come back like, you got an appointment. You go in front of them. Dude, get the man. She just a motherfucking skipper. She done came in here and started skipping everybody and shit. She need to get the fuck out of here. She need to go. Like, and I mean, the whole time I was there, he was motherfuckers be crazy. So not just men be crazy, motherfuckers be crazy. Not just men.
Nah, I understand.
Courtney,
It's
with the way
a
you
lot
tell
of motherfuckers
stories,
out here with chips on their shoulder.
with the way Courtney tells stories, I honestly thought somebody was finna get shot in the head or something because her stories they just go deep.
Right.
Like, just,
Shit, I thought you was gonna say, but I ain't worried about it because I keep my pistol on me.
Look,
You
you
know,
know I had it on me, but I
she
still was
done
uncomfortable. It
incriminated
was like,
herself
this
at
nigga's
least
really
3
sitting here trying to
times in
threaten
this.
me just because I made an appointment and he walked in. Like I
so
made
I
an appointment.
wanted to talk about liquor and chemical dependency because this is another part. Because I feel like what we've kind of done, even unintentionally, is broken down violence on different levels. We've talked about domestic violence. We've talked about trauma, the role that trauma could or could not play, or does not play in terms of kids getting their ass whooped, right? And what you actually learn from an ass whooping, right? And
I
so,
learned nothing.
but now we talk about the chemical part of it, in which I hear y'all saying alcohol, right? I hear people say alcohol is this and that, but people do so many drugs. They do, and everybody has a drug of choice, and they real snobby about it, and they look down on the
Don't
one
take
you do.
offense, Kev. Don't take offense, Kev. It's
Right.
okay, man.
Right.
It's
So
okay.
motherfuckers eat two cocaine. Come out. I don't drink though. Shit.
I think, when she
shit.
I agree with her. I agree with her because she always say this. I always talk about our community, and I say, ain't nothing in our community good for us. Ain't no establishments that's like really good for us, health wise, mental wise. Like everything is poison.
It
Go to
ain't
the
meant to
gas
be.
station, the corner
Yeah.
stores. There ain't nothing in the corner store good for you. Nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Ain't nothing in the gas station. We only need gas from there, but ain't nothing else in there that you buy good for you. Then you got the liquor store. You know what I mean? We all know it's bad for you, but we still do it. You dig what I'm saying? Like everything is poison that they sell us. Even the grocery stores, it's less quality food. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing in our community good for us. And that's what I think the sister was really alluding to. And I just want the people to understand that.
No doubt. And this is centered. Shout out to Beverly Williams. You know, we rock with Beverly Williams tough. Like she's been on the show, and Beverly Williams is one of the spearheads of the community takeover of MPS, and she's done a lot to really put what MPS, how they operate, on blast. So we support Miss Beverly.
We love you, Miss Bell.
We love you.
Right.
But and then look, it's okay. We can be friends as long as I can agree. I can't be your friend if we can't disagree, right? Like, no, well, fuck you then. That's a one-sided relationship.
Right.
I disagree with her about some of the stuff she said about Ice Cube in terms of, because we don't really do partisan politics on here, and I don't have more faith in a Republican than I do in a Democrat or vice versa.
Right.
We are
Right.
poopers. We poop on both parties, right? Because of their egregious treatment of our people. So, and I hate when leaders, elected officials, and I want to throw this in there while y'all was talking about it. I hate when they try to utilize the violence in the community to stir that pot to get voters. So my example would be, it's 5 murders in a certain neighborhood at a certain time. This politician comes on and says, I'm so and so and so. I'm running for Republican. Woo woo woo. There's 5 murders in this community. Aren't you tired of Democrats and their inability to control the community? Why are you politicizing homicide? Because guess what? When your ass get elected, it's gonna be 5 murders the next block over. You ain't preventing shit either, right? So we don't do that. So, but I shout out to Beverly and this story about Aaron Rodgers drinking the hallucinogenic fluid, right?
The ayahuasca.
And look, see, I didn't even know we got word mob, whole thing, word mob outlaws in our little group, and it's become a nice little thing. You put music, put interesting stuff we see during the week. Everybody being there tripping, right? And so, we see in there. I didn't know that this dialogue was going on because I put it in the People's News Network and I just kept it pushing. But so there's an argument here about him being a rich white guy who plays professional football and he should be getting punished. And then the conversation went to drugs. It went to getting high. And all of a sudden, Courtney and Rail started talking about popping psychedelics. So I said, that'll be a great place to start the show tonight. Let's talk about these psychedelics I like to experiment.
Well, to start off, you know what I mean? Basically, you're talking about alternative medicine.
Yes. Okay. There we
You
go.
know what I mean? I work with Burdock Group. You know, alternative medicine. CMOS, alternative medicine. You know what I'm saying? So I think you really have to educate yourself when you listening to people and you developing, you know what I mean, ideas about shit. Right? You got to really understand what's happening. She was talking about how it's banned in the NFL. Okay, well, stuff can be banned in the United States and still be good for you.
Exactly.
Soursop fucks cancer up, but it's banned here. It's a fruit. You know what I mean? So, like, we got to understand also that the United States has a pharmaceutical industry. You know what I mean? And of course, they're going to ban a lot of shit that's going to, you know what I mean, counter that or that they feel counter. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, she also talked about how a white athlete get away with doing banned drugs and shit like that. I'm like, the difference with that is with the NFL, you got to get caught with it in your system for them to give you any kind of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I could say I did whatever the hell I wanted to say when we was in the off season. That don't really mean I did it, but I could say what I want to say. You know what I mean? And I can do what I want to do as long as I ain't breaking these rules during the season. I'm pretty sure he knows the rules.
Okay.
And I feel like she made it seem like ayahuasca was like she got to call it steroids and other stuff. She made it think it was a pill you pop or something. Ayahuasca is a drink, and you got a retreat. You somewhere throwing up for like 2 days.
You got to go down in the jungle and get there.
Yeah, this ain't something you able to do every day.
No,
So,
you gotta spend money. You gotta spend money on those healing pilgrimages.
Yes,
that's what they are.
Right.
This ain't no poor people shit. You ain't got to worry about no kids getting a hold of this shit. This is shit that people go on a 2-week retreat to sit at this place. A lot of times they fast and praying before they even do it, so that they are in the right state of mind and their body is prepared to do this. Because this is
now what is it called? Ayahuasca, Highway 100. What is it called?
Ayahuasca.
You know, you can hear Mike Tyson talk about this all the time.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask you
about. All of that.
Because I don't think he can say that. He called it something else. I don't think he can pronounce that word. He called it like God something. He called it something else.
It all depends on what he was referring to at the time. I mean,
he was talking about this life-changing exotic thing that he went on these kinds of retreats to do, and he took it and he said
but that's what I'm saying. He's done 5 MEO DMT, which is the toad that you get from the toad. He's done ayahuasca. He's a fan of psilocybin, which is found in magic mushrooms. So that's why I asked, like, which one was he talking about? Because
it's called the God something. It's called the God something. That's the name of it.
I think you're talking. I really want to say
if you talk about the God molecule or the God molecule, that would be just DMT. That's dimethyltryptamine. That's what your pineal gland produces naturally. That's what your lungs produce naturally.
First of all,
don't when we die or when we born, or when we die.
Don't be trying to go solo with all of you got all them big ass words.
It's only when we're born and when we die.
DMT. The people call it DMT.
That's the Mitra zone. Man. Y'all ain't hearing this shit on nobody else's show. I'm tired of y'all fronting on Outlaw Radio, man. Man, you're learning this shit nowhere else.
But the crazy thing is,
she said the pharmacy industry made over $318 billion in 2020. Why not invest in alternatives? Go ahead, Real.
And that's exactly the issue. Nature will always be demonized and criminalized because its nature you can't patent it, and because the shit just grows because it's God given, anybody can produce it. So that's the biggest issue that the pharmaceutical industry, which runs our country, every damn president is funded by them motherfuckers. If you watch the news, it's brought to you by Moderna. So of course the news is gonna keep pumping shit that's gonna have you stressed to need more medicine because they're financed by it's just a drug game. Just like on the streets, you don't want no competition. So the thing about the pharmaceutical companies is their enforcers are the police and the lawmakers, but they still the same thing. They're drug dealers. More people die yearly from over-the-counter Tylenol than anyone has ever died from mushrooms, LSD, marijuana, any of that shit. Because ultimately they demonize it until they can find until they could, what's the fucking word, synthesize
Right.
the active
Mass
compound.
production. Right.
Right, and then now they can patent it because they changed one fucking molecule and now it's no longer natural. So now they can, just like what they did. I'm a licensed hemp processor, so there was a big worry that CBD was going to become outlawed because the pharmaceutical industries finally were able to create a CBD derivative. So whenever they able to mimic nature, they get their lobbyists down there to change the laws to make it to where they have no competition. So this is just one of those things. Like, the whole discussion reeked of fucking indoctrination and brainwashing by Henry Anslinger,
Oh my
Nancy
God.
Reagan, Barbara Bush, and all the fucking DARE programs and hang to like but it's a drug. It's a performance enhancement. This
Right.
nigga drank some tea and soul searched.
Right.
That's gonna make your whole life better. That's gonna make your football
So-
possibilities better. That's gonna make you a better father. All that shit.
So
it's just like the Lorax on that Dr. Seuss movie. You know what I'm saying? It was, they was trying to get motherfuckers to pay for air and to get rid of all the trees and shit, trying to get them to pay for air. And it's like, oh, we can just have these trees. And it's like, nah, man, y'all got to pay
That
for
shit,
these
they doing that shit
trees.
now too.
And that's how people feel.
I wonder if most people know, in particular Black people, I wonder if they know that the government actually doesn't operate with a moral compass, right?
But they think it do because it's white folk, and I told y'all before, we've been plagued by the subconscious image of white Jesus.
Well, when I say that, I want people to understand that if you as a grown person in America think that drugs are illegal because the government cares that they might hurt you, you're an idiot. You are
Right.
not shit. Listen, the government ain't say weed is illegal because it's wrong to get high. That ain't why that shit's illegal. It's because they haven't figured out a way, and they're getting started now, to effectively tax it and make money off of it. And like Rail said, once I take it and take certain elements out of it and make it so I can synthesize it and mass produce it, now it becomes something that I can sell. It's a commodity. Now we have a strong market for it. Now you can smoke it, like alcohol, right? Like Tylenol. Like people take, I got allergies. They go to Walgreens, they grab some shit. You don't know what's in that bottle. You shoot it straight up your nose. Oh, I feel better now. You don't know if it was some cocaine in there. You don't know what was in there, but you're gonna look at somebody and say, look at that motherfucker smoking that stinking ass weed. That's what I'm saying about judgmental.
But that's
and they
the
don't even
ignorance of it
understand.
all.
They don't understand Harry J. Anslinger. They don't understand what you're saying when you mention that name. Was basically the first drug czar that the United States ever had, who basically went on a tangent to make marijuana illegal because he says it makes Black jazz players want to have sex with white women. And so that was, and that it turned us into these mindless zombies. You can go and watch Reefer Madness, right? And this dude didn't give a shit about us. He didn't give a shit. I want the country to be safe. It was some racist shit. So
he needed some money.
Yeah.
The prohibition on alcohol ended, and they had that Department of Government, and he said, damn, I need to find something else to demonize and criminalize. Otherwise, they have no point for it. Remember, they was going hard on alcohol to the point where the government killed at least 10,000 people because when they made alcohol, when we was going through prohibition, people being the geniuses that they are, they found a way to repurpose industrial alcohol into drinking alcohol. So the government had them put poison in all industrial alcohol so that if they tried to repurpose it, it would be fatal. And over 10,000 people died. So Anslinger, because they stopped prohibiting alcohol, he had to find something else to demonize. Hemp was one of our biggest commodities from the beginning of time. It was, I think even in the colonies, it was written in the laws that farmers not only had to grow cotton, they had to grow hemp because it was used to manufacture the cots of the military, the tents of the military. Like even in Wisconsin, we was number one in producing hemp, but he demonized it and said that it made darkies feel like they were superior to white people. It
Darkies.
made white women crave black dick type shit. You know what I'm saying? And that was enough. And he knew this shit wasn't true, but just like the government do anytime they want to push some shit, they play on your fears. So they played on the xenophobia of white men losing their white women to these black men and these Mexicans. They said that marijuana, like that's why they even named it marijuana, because if they called it cannabis or hemp, the public would have been like, oh man, we grow that shit. We've been growing that shit for hundreds of years. It's in our medicinal cabinet.
So even
So that,
if you don't believe what he's saying, take a look at the war on drugs that was conducted in the 80s. So if you just said, Kev, you a fool, that ain't true what you said. The government want us to be safe, man. They care about us. You do realize the war on drugs in the 80s is based on basically, I think Rail put it in the comments today. I said I never thought about it like that. It was a CIA fundraiser, right? Like they basically exchanged weapons, and all they had to trade was cocaine. So the government is like, well, you know what? Fuck it, just put it here, but we're gonna keep it in the poor communities so it won't get out of control. But that's exactly what it did. So what they did was then they came back and said, I didn't even know she was still here.
Look, I'm about to say.
Y'all so educated. Why is it that y'all? I mean, y'all too educated. Y'all are too educated. I am still here. I'm listening. I mean, for each side of Milwaukee, do y'all have people where you can just set up a resource center? Do y'all have a resource center on all four sides of Milwaukee?
No, it's just called the internet. All you got to do is really just get on it and just start living.
For the community though, because there's a lot of people out in Milwaukee that are not educated on all of the things that you are saying, and they probably don't have internet, so they can be on YouTube or on Facebook paying attention to what you're saying. This information is very, very it's healthy.
Wow.
Like when people need this.
Man, thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, you know,
this is like all four of you guys are very, very strong in the background that you speak on.
Oh,
and
wow.
What do you mean? Oh wow!
I've never heard that before, because usually people don't like me; they like everybody else on the show. But they be like, man.
People that you have on here, even when you have guests that don't fit in, people are not getting all of this information. But the news will say some stupid stuff, and everybody in the whole wide world. Why don't you guys have a network, a TV network? So it's able, your information is able to be gotten by the people that need it.
You know what? That's the whole point of the effort. Shout out to Beauty Waddington. She said, I don't know if is this the same Beauty? Because I don't want to say your comment. You like, that's me, fool. Okay.
Right. I ain't wrong, but that's okay.
How do you pronounce it? Because I will butcher a name. That's why I say, don't nobody like me.
I love all of y'all because it's very educational. Beauty Wallington. Like
okay. Oh, okay.
Well, the library does give out hotspots for free. If people didn't know that, you could definitely go to your local library and get you a hotspot if you need some Wi-Fi.
I don't think most people can make the connection between why that stuff is important to what's going on now. So a lot of people will tell you, why do I need to know about that? Why do I give a fuck about Harry J. Anslinger from the 30s and the 40s?
That's our heritage. Our forefathers, they tilled the earth. You know what I mean? Our parents picked cotton. They made liquor from scratch. And now the Caucasian people who invented America, right? They take all of the money and do whatever they want to do with it. And we are like the source of everything. And that's why I don't understand why our kids are doing all of this crazy stuff when they have so much inside of them. Art, music, all of this stuff. We know how to make things from scratch. We built the railroad track. We are so gifted and talented, but yet we got a gun. We got all of these drugs right in our communities, and it's like, how do we get all of this stuff back to where it needs to be?
That's a good question. That's a good question, and I think that's the question that keeps us where we're at. I always say we argue about the argument in Milwaukee, right? Because we can get together and say all those words you just said. Like Kamara could pop off some information, I could, Courtney could, Rail could, and what we won't be able to do is leave that room with a consensus about what to do next. Because that room is going to divide up. After Kamar get done talking, there's going to be people that say, I'm with Kamar. Fuck Kev. He don't know what he's talking about. He be fucking people now.
Right.
Be like, fuck that vegan shit, Kev. I'm riding with you. Let's go cook some ribs. Then it's going to be Courtney. Like, let's steal a car and do some hallucinogenics.
So
Like, everybody just take all their clothes off. Everybody just get naked. Like, and so,
hey,
look,
hey,
man.
man.
I think me and Real fuck around have a team. They gonna be like, man, we going over there with Real.
Hey, shit, I'm trying to get a commune popping. You know, where nobody got to wear clothes. Shit.
So I said that to say our people need to realize that there's a bunch of different ways to do what we want. But we got to figure out all how to work together, because it's going to take Kamar to be able to really inform people that say, bro, you know those pills that they give you that you're so confident in? I can damn near show you a natural alternative to each one of them. Now, I'm not going to tell you to stop taking that totally. Right. But if you make a lifestyle change and you start eating a little bit different and you start taking this, then you'll get the same result with less damage to your body by the artificial nature of what they create, right? Like, so, but we ain't gonna never be able to do that. So until then, we'll just have a bunch of talk shows and podcasts. We can talk about it and look good. Everybody put on some red, black, and green and shit. Come on here, say,
you know,
I'm African, I'm native. I'm from Angola. Is Angola in Africa? I think that's in America, ain't it?
Yeah, no, it's Africa, fam. It's Angola.
Right there. It's in Africa.
It's an Angola prison.
Right, that's a prison. Yeah, you ain't from Angola.
Angola kind of big too. Yeah.
Paris LaShawn
said, Angola sent soldiers over here. Well, not soldiers, but when they got a lot of slaves from Angola, they came with their traditional capoeira fighting style. So a lot of them was able to get free in Brazil and get with the Maroons through the traditional fighting style that came over from Angola.
Damn, you learn something even when you say the wrong word on here, because I showed him you say Angola. Now I know that they brought capoeira.
As soon as you said it, I looked at
America. He was like, no, actually, fam, check this out. Those dancing dudes, that's where it comes from.
They kick you in the forehead.
He said, read the Michelle Alexander book, The New Jim Crow, Mass Incarceration in the Age of Colorblindness. I met her. She came to MATC years ago. Yeah, when the book first came out, she came to MATC. She gave us
dope as hell.
Yeah, and I was supposed to get a copy, an autographed copy of the book, but I dipped early. You know how we be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna sneak out and shit. I know I still
man.
Another hour. I was on that bullshit. But so, her speech was real, man, and like she broke it down. Like when we talk about mass incarceration and the Jim Crow stuff, and I think this is what I would want to explain in terms of the Sister Beauty saying people need to be aware of is what the Jim Crow South actually did and what mass incarceration has actually done to us as a community. So when we look around and say we ain't got enough men, or now even women are going, black women are getting incarcerated at a high rate too now, right? And we even see them losing their lives more now because the community is already devoid of men. It's majority women out here. So who's getting killed? Women as a result. So yeah, it's entirely true that maybe a resource center would be beautiful in the community. I know Kamar's talked a lot about a building and a location, and so that would be something that's important to a community to say, hey, you can walk in here and do all the research you want to do. You can go hear speakers. You can come in and hear lectures and get consultation on different parts of your diet and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's definitely needed. So I agree with her on that. What else did I wanted to make sure I talked about? Oh, because Holly Berry, right? Because it's 9 o'clock. We doing good. Because we be on this damn radio. I'm like, damn, it's 10 o'clock. Wrap it up, Kim. Holly Berry has come out and stated that her husband, the model white dude who she married first, Aubrey something, way back. She said he used to get mad at her and call her a nigger all the time. And he's ashamed of their daughter because she's biracial, right? And so people were like, I was kind of like, okay, Holly, what you want us to do? Like, I don't,
Right.
and like,
Right.
and
Shit.
then
She
I
was
seen some.
fucking him for years.
Well, I
That
mean,
wasn't the first time he called her a nigga.
when I say bed wench,
You been let him
when
do
I
your
say
shit.
when I say bed wench, and we talk about this, and like people was like, we did a show one night, and I got to talk about Serena Williams. People set me on fire. It was a little bit like it was crazy. Like, hey, child, you can't just love who you want to care. What you talking about? She a bed wench, and she a bed wench. And then the sister asked, well, do you feel the same way about pro athletes and whatnot who do it? And my answer was that, anybody who is counterproductive to the community, anybody who is not invested in, establishing black legacies or trying to like empower us, yeah, I'm against them. So I think in terms of like marriage, I think your first go around should at least be somebody who's like you. Now, if it don't work out, because I got a partner one time, he had a white girl, and I said, Kev, how you a real strong brother. Why you man? He said, Kev, I got 7 kids and all my baby mama's black. I tried that shit. So I figure I'll try it over here. Now I'm good, man. I feel like I had a pass to do it. I said, yeah, you right. You good. Right. If that's your situation, it is. But so it doesn't surprise me that Holly, I feel like Holly, you accepted this, but you put the narrative out on the brothers. Oh, they was abusive to me. They smacked me, Wesley Snipes slapped shit out of me. Dave Justice, I'm deaf in one ear because he slapped me so hard. But you didn't tell this about the white man until year later. Oh, he's called me a nigger and he's ashamed of our daughter because she's black. So I'm wondering, a lot of these interracial relationships, male or female, how many black people out there are really dealing with a person of another race, and that they kind of don't really respect your culture for what it is as a black person, because they got you kind of dancing along the music where race doesn't matter. Look, I'm white and I love you. Look, we're good. No, don't be like one of those people. Don't play the race card. So everything you say about white people, you got to kind of almost pause it and say, but damn, my wife black. I mean white, or my husband's white. So it's like, well, they all ain't that. They ain't all bad. Ain't that what Tyreek and she make fun of us? And they ain't all bad, right? So I just felt like this thing with Holly Berry was funny to me. I didn't feel no like, oh, let's go to her rescue and none of that shit like that. It's like, man, you knew the job was dangerous when you took it. And I think when somebody had put on the caption, when all these women keep talking about getting right by going white or something like that, because you hear a lot of sisters like, brothers don't know how. What's that big bareback ass barrel shaped girl who do comedy with her big old ugly stupid looking ass? What's her name? She was on she was on The View. What's her name? The big old wide body, big body
damn,
brown.
I know.
What's her name?
You talking about the Sherry
Not
Shepherd?
Sherry Shepherd, not her. It's the other one that be on The View. The other one, Lonnie
I don't know
Love,
her
with her
name.
big old,
Lonnie Love.
right, with her big old 2-layer cake looking ass gonna come on there talking about I had to get a white man because black men, because of slavery and because of the way they were treated, they don't know how to treat a black queen. So I had to go and get a white man. If you don't sit your bed wench ass down, come on, man. See, it ain't no thing for you to go get a white man. I'm fine with that. But when you start putting shit on all of us as brothers because you couldn't find nobody that wanted to deal with your big roly-poly ass, you can't diss all of us because of that. So when she stepped out and said that coon ass shit, I'm sorry. If you like Lonnie Love, man, fuck it. No, fuck Lonnie Love. She said some coon ass shit. But that's that bed wench shit. So when I was looking at Holly Berry and I'm looking at Serena, and Serena told a story one time, I had to teach my husband how to use a washcloth. Right? She said, oh, I make sure I teach him everything he needs to know about black people, about culture, about our culture. That's what you spend your time doing, teaching. You got to teach him blackness all day long. You got to, every time somebody say something, you got to translate. No, he meant they're on the way. They said we finna be there. What does that mean? They're on the way. That just means they're coming quickly. So yeah, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's why they disrespect us so much, because they know our culture. We taught them how to be us. White people didn't used to sag. Now you see them sagging. White people didn't used to be in the hood. Now they all in the hood and they do what they've been taught.
Well, some used to be in the hood. I mean, when I was growing up, because some are poor. Not all white folks.
A lot of them are poor.
Hey, a lot of time that be because a lot of time that be some brother done brought them to the hood and she done got trapped in the trap.
Maybe some of that too.
Because you see him with little brown babies.
Now, Daddy,
to use the word nigga. Niggas,
Yeah.
they call each other niggas, and then they mess up and call the wrong person nigga, and then they beat them up, and then the police come and arrest whoever beat them up because he's
And
white.
and I even look at the comedian Gary Owen, because for years Gary Owen, his whole show was about the fact that he's married to a black woman. And I'm not saying Gary Owen is not funny, but after a while, I was like, bro, this joke is, you got to have something else. Like, okay, we get it, you married to a black woman, and especially, and every time he got ready to do the black part of the joke, you see black people getting ready, like, oh, here it come. I told you this white boy was funny. I used to be sitting there like, this shit to me no more. So now he's divorced from his wife, and I was listening to him the other day because I wanted to see, okay, is he still funny? But guess what? He was talking about divorcing his black wife now. So it was just, don't think as a black person you with a white person and they don't see your color. Especially if you talking about you a sister and I'm talking about I'm going, and you say I'm going natural and you about to have dreads and you about to stop wearing makeup and doing all this stuff. He gonna be like, holy shit, Larita, what's going on? I don't understand. Whose name Larita? I don't know. I said the blackest woman name.
Yeah.
Larita and shit.
I love that look
Larita.
too, man. That's right up my alley.
Larita right up your alley.
You like them old
Yeah,
women.
yeah, the natural hair, no makeup.
Oh, I
Yes,
thought you
yes.
like
So I was gonna say, he like he have a baby named Larita.
Oh well,
Right.
shit, Larita. I mean, that means she know how to cook biscuits from scratch and she slow roll it to blues. So yeah, I fuck with Larita too.
Boy said he was Betty Jane, right?
She can hop up there and slow roll it.
He go with it's dedicated to my girl Julie May.
Hey, shit, yeah. She treat me right, make biscuits from scratch and shit.
The point of all that was we need to love ourselves, right? And I get it. You love who you love. And if I said that all about Lonnie Love because I feel like she just been so coonish about the whole thing. She deserves all the heat and all the venom. I've seen her make these statements, man. It's just so counterproductive. Because listen, if you're a black person and you said I'm single, but I'm single because everybody else is fucked up, you making a mistake, right? Because it take two to fuck something up. So you can't just say there ain't no good men left. Maybe you need to say, damn, what am I doing wrong? Why am I putting off this energy? Say that again, brother.
To say what am I doing wrong? Because whenever you got a problem with everybody or everybody got a problem with you, you got to take a look at yourself. So you have to say what am I doing wrong?
Right.
And not only Kamar, you're right, but to just even say, why am I attracting these kinds of people? Why do I keep having the same situation? It's something that I'm doing, some energy that I'm putting off, in which I keep getting these dysfunctional individuals. Why are they drawn to me? Well, maybe I'm dysfunctional. So, you know, it's magnetic, right? Like, so until you're ready to have that conversation with yourself, then you're not going to ever really get in a good, productive relationship. Right. When you say, hey, no, you know what? I got to work. And it's cool to meet somebody and say, I'm still working on me too, baby. You know, I ain't perfect. I mean, don't say that, then just have to back it up with a bunch of, you know, only did 4 homicides and I used to still crack to little babies. And, you know, damn, nigga, that's too much. You go ahead and keep working on you. But all of us should be able to admit, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. Sometimes I'm an emotional wreck. I think most women should be saying that to men. That needs to be a manual your wife or your girlfriend hands you when you meet her. I am a female and I can be an emotional wreck sometimes. So here's the manual to read when you encounter this. And a lot of us is going to say, just leave. Just go outside, bro. Like get in your car and run. But that's what you get when you deal with a female. Just like when you got a man who's ashy, rusty type of motherfucker sitting around farting and he think it's funny. That part. Right? But that's what you got to deal with that man. You gonna tell you can't fart in here no more. We breaking up.
That shit is hilarious.
So what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say, oh, you can't have no menstrual cycle no more. We breaking up. All right, motherfucker, bye. Because if you tell me you can't be farting like that, I'm like, I cannot be here. I need to be free. Like I need to be because I can't hold it in. So
exactly, that'll fuck you up on the inside. You gotta let it out.
Yep. And I don't care how positive we get. We're always willing to depreciate ourselves by talking about farts or birth control or horn. You know, one night we got on lube for about 10 minutes, and I was like, "How does this get about lube?" And so let's go back and listen. It'll change. Bill Maher, Michael Rappaport, Paris LaShawn said, "No, listen. I understand why a white man would look at a black woman and say, "Damn, man, that's what I want." I understand that, right? And I can understand how some white men would meet a black woman and be like, man, I love this woman, man. She's something else I ain't never seen before. I understand that. And that happens. But a lot of times in a lot of situations, those relationships are the result of somebody on one side kind of being off kilter a little bit about who they are, or and once again, I'm not saying all the time. I'm just saying you meet some brothers and you get to talking to say, hey, man, I couldn't shoot. You can't do shit with no black woman. I love that. I had to get to learn that shit. I got this white girl. My credit been right. Like all this kind of stupid shit. I'm like, bro, don't overdo it because you have. Or if you know a brother who's in that relationship and he preferences everything by saying, and you know, I'm married to a white woman, dog. We don't do that. Or man, come on, man. My wife a white girl. I be like, nigga, enough. Like, okay, I get it. You married to a white girl. Like, what the fuck?
Right.
So there are people who approach it from that perspective. So, and Lonnie Love is just a horrible excuse of a human being. She's just a walking bag of chewed butter. Yeah, because you can't do that.
That one basketball player, what happened with him?
Which
the
one?
white girlfriend.
Which one? It's millions of them. Shit, that's
right.
half the NBA.
Just recently in the news where he beat her up or something.
Was it a youngster who
here in Milwaukee?
I hope it wasn't, or his ass won't play no more ball.
A lot of them too. Basketball, football players be beating up on. It's a lot of them too.
Yeah. It's a lot of women getting inside their head though. But you know, once again, when women go to chasing that bread like that, y'all go to chasing that money like that, and you end up in some bad situations. You know, money ain't the root of all evil. The love of money is the root of all evil.
You end up in them situations fucking around in Milwaukee. You ain't even got to be chasing money. You get that shit right here fucking with somebody broke. So, I mean, get your head peeled fucking with a broke nigga. So, no.
And you know, you got to be careful too. A lot of niggas grew up and wasn't able to have women, didn't have no game about themselves to be able to get women. So when they get older and get this money, they don't know how to fucking act.
Right.
I look at Mystical a certain kind of way now. Like, I think he may have been one of them dudes. That, you know what I mean?
Now, did you see the latest? Did you see the
look, I was just, hold on, kid, before you go there, I was just listening to one of his songs, right? Shake it fast. Show me what you're working with. I said, dog, this song sounds so suspect now. Like they might use this shit in court, dog.
He starts the song. He starts the song by saying, "I came in with my dick in my hand," and then nobody say nothing. Like, dog, what you doing, bro? You can't walk in the club. Right. Be cool,
right? Be cool, goddamn it.
But listen, we talked about. I wasn't you weren't with us. I forgot you weren't with Rail and myself last Wednesday. For Outlaw Radio. And we talked about this, and I was like, what's going on with Mystical? But I said that there has to be some dope fiend shit. There has to be some kind of chemical drug type of shit involved.
Drugs.
And they found meth and cocaine and weed and pills and this the kind of shit this kind of relationship you in. Now, his side of the story is he's been in a relationship with this woman for 20 years. And there's supposedly an argument about you took $100 from me. No, I didn't. First of all, that's dope fiend shit. You get hindsight talking about you who stole my $100.
$100. Look,
that is.
Then she says, no, I didn't steal the money, and supposedly he gets to the point where like, well, loan me $100. Which actually is some dope fiend shit. You sure you ain't steal it? Well, loan me $100. Okay. We're just getting deeper here, right? So then supposedly what he said was, okay, well, don't leave. And he grabbed her and said, let me feel on. I'm just, it's in the People's News Network. If y'all thinking this ain't what it say, he said, let me feel on you, I guess. And I'm doing his voice, right?
Let me feel on you.
So, he said, wait, don't leave. Look,
she cool. Right. I got my dick in my hand. Don't you see? But so she resists. It ends up in her. She said she got raped. She went to the hospital. They took, they did the rape kit. They said that her injuries were consistent with being raped. Now he's saying, nah, I didn't rape her. I beat it up. Right? Like but this is some dope fiend shit. This is two motherfuckers higher than Giraffe ass on the moon. This is Rick James 1990 Hollywood Hills high. Right. This shit is Scarface Tony Montana, not the rapper Tony Montana high. Like what? Y'all done smoked meth and crack and tooted and pop pills. And I ain't surprised that she said you raped me. What else was she gonna say? What the fuck? I mean,
look, you know he stole $100 from her.
We don't know who $100 went where.
That's why the night started with $100 missing.
Ain't nobody said nothing about the $100 till we all off meth. You know what? I'm missing $100. No, motherfucker, you missing some scruples. This Shit is crazy, man. Listen,
Yeah, it is. Sad.
I hope Mystical gets some help. And Rail, you talked about the other night about his sister was murdered. He did go to the Gulf War. He grew up in New Orleans at the time, and it was the murder capital of the world. Like Mystical has gone through a lot. Just that last bit, we don't know what happened in there.
Yeah.
We don't know what happened in there last time because he didn't come home with the same kind of swagger. He came home a little less like I had my dick in my hand. He was whispering it after he came home. He was because when he walked in there, they said, "Cool, keep it in your hand. We got something for you, boss." But he just
gave it to him.
Well, somebody did something to him. I don't know.
Gave it to him,
Man.
Right.
Watch yourself. What you working with? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Mystical took the candy bar off the pillow.
Man. Nah. Make him say, I'm totally freaked out by that song now with his verse. Make him say, Who is you talking about? Paris Deshawn said he's a convicted rapist. He is now. But the sad part about me being a hip hop head is I remember when Mystical was one of the most revered MCs in the game. Like everybody universally accepted that Mystical was cold. I only listened to most No Limit shit in the 90s because of Mystical. Like I thought the rest of them dudes,
right.
Really, because especially Silk the Shocker. Like, come on,
I like
man.
Silk the Shocker. He was handsome. He was not
Silk
a good rapper.
terrible.
He was not a good rapper at all.
Right? No, sometimes I'll be somewhere I can't even see myself, and I just see myself. Nigga, what the fuck you just said? Get your ass out of here, man. Turn that shit off.
So deja vu. That's all he's saying.
All right. Well, my partner from Georgia loved No Limit, so I heard every No Limit. We was in college together. He lived across the hallway. Cav, you got to hear this new No Limit. I'm like, really, another one? It's like, didn't they have 5 albums?
No Limit soldier too.
Oh, you was?
Yeah, I used to like No Limit too, man.
Man,
I was a bigger P fan when he first came out, and they had TRU. They was a group.
I
was a bigger fan of his at that point, but I was still rocking Ghetto Dope and all that shit.
And meanwhile, when we talk about
and I will say this too, their music didn't stand the test of time.
Does not. Sounds horrible now.
I can say that too.
You're right.
What I mean? Because I was watching something like they were saying the verses with Cash Money and No Limit, and I'm like, Cash Money is smashing because they music stood more the test of time.
Cash Money is
like they had party music, and if you partying, you gonna like that shit when it come on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Master P them had more gangster music.
Yes.
They had more bootleg shit. Baby,
they didn't have shit for the party, you know. So and then, like I said, it just didn't stand the test of time.
Master P always was copying off everybody else. If Scarface sounded a certain way on his album, then here come P trying to do it. Like, bro, because I remember listening to The Diary, and Face had Never Seen a Man Cry, where he kind of changed up his voice and he was doing his thing. And then the P next album, I'm like, P, no, that's not your style. Leave that alone. It was horrible, man. It was garbage. I'm telling you. But in creepy old man news, before we get off of here, I want to talk about Irv Gotti. Like Irv Gotti, I don't know. I live in the podverse, so I tell you all the time. Like I'm up on Drink Champs. I love $1 Million Worth of Game with Gilly and Wallow. Like I even watch the Clubhouse joints. Rail actually got me added to Clubhouse. I still ain't went on. But I be watching all this shit with Wack 100. I had to get myself in line with Wack. Like, you stop listening to this shit. But I'm on the internet all the time. I'm on YouTube and I'm listening. And Irv Gotti's on Drink Champs with Nori and DJ EFN or whatever, how the fuck you say his name. And he starts talking about how he was dealing with Ashanti. And she was his girlfriend. And he didn't know he had broken up with him until he seen her on TV with Nelly. And that's how he found out she was cheating on him. And I'm like, wait, wasn't you married? But then he says, yeah, one time after I banged her out, she went and wrote the song Happy. That's where that song comes from.
I love that song. That's on my playlist right now.
Right, but this is you 50, dog. You 50 plus. Why is you on? And she ain't said that. Listen, the one thing you can't say about Ashanti is that she's ever said a word. Like she ain't never said about nothing that happened at Murder Inc. She go about her business. She don't try too hard. She do what she do, right? She know I ain't Beyonce, but I ain't goddamn who ugly and can't sing. Let me think. The chick from Total, the lead chick, the chick from Total, the lead one who looked like a dude. Right.
She wasn't ugly. What's happening here, Kev? What the fuck?
You see her now, she look like her name should be Timothy or something. She just horrible. I know.
Is somebody still on the phone?
Yeah, Beauty's still there.
Y'all don't be know. I'll be thinking just for us, and then she pop in like, "Hey, but wait."
Hey, you might as well have just sent her a link.
I'm sorry, y'all listening. Y'all be giving so much education. Y'all all the education. Kev just be just killing people.
No,
But
I
that's
don't.
education. If you don't know,
I'm really a nice guy, right? I'm really a nice guy if you meet me in real life and I'm not on the microphone. No, I'm not. That's a lie too. But listen, so no, Irv Gotti, man, out of pocket. If this is the kind of thing that young men are seeing today, if this is what they're seeing from us, we supposed to be the OGs. He's not that much older than me. I think he's about 55 somewhere now. I'm not that old. I ain't even close to that yet, but I'm a man of an advanced age, right? So, but for us to do shit, and everybody's coming out now saying this was some suck ass shit, and like, how's you still talking about this 30 years later? Nelly done even moved on. They've even broken up. Like, why? I guess it's when I say I see people who want to be relevant so bad, and they come up with this thing where they figure I'm just gonna say something about Tupac. Fuck it. And it don't got to be true. It don't got to be based on nothing, but I want to get a bunch of likes and a bunch of views. So I felt like this dude is clout chasing when there's no need for him to do this, when he just sold his catalog for 70, 80 million dollars that he made off of the Murder Inc. catalog that he had. So I'm just like, man, like some of us just got we older brothers my age. I keep saying there's too many of us that's still thugging.
He's a pillow talker. And Kev, you may not know this. I know Kamara, all y'all may, because y'all are built differently. But so many men are pillow talkers. Oh my gosh. They just get this, whether it's about other women, other situations, other guys. Like so many men just fucking pillow talking. You ain't even ask nothing. You ain't even say nothing. They just get to talking. You like, oh, she did. Oh, what? Really?
Well, I'll tell you what.
That's what Irv is. He just pillow talker, just want to say some shit just cause, just be talking.
If you a woman and your man don't pillow talk with you, he's not your man. Because any man who got a woman gonna talk to his woman when they laying in the bed together, if she's willing to. Because a lot of times she'd be like, "Damn, shut up! I gotta get up in the morning." Like, turn it back and pull the cover over her head. You be just like, "Damn, I guess I watch TV." But
it's some different type of pillow talkers out here, Kev. It's niggas that will be fucking with different bitches, maybe fucking with you and go pillow talk to her, may come back to you, may go pillow talk to their homeboy. Some people just pillow talk, just talk. We're not even gonna say pillow.
Hey, that's how niggas get fucked up in the game when they be fucking with the same woman and shit. You know what I mean? From pillow talking and shit. They find out about the other nigga. When he talks some shit about that dude, she go back and tell that dude what he said, and there you go.
Yeah, and guys be right.
So Irv did this. There was no pillow. There was no female. He's on YouTube.
Right. So he was just talking. Well, that's why I said sometimes you don't need pillow. They just be talking.
I wasn't saying Irv was. I was just going in talking about pillow.
True.
Okay.
A lot of he is a cornball. One thing I didn't like about that interview, he kept referring to her as bitch.
Okay.
Like, dog. I'm like this, dog.
He is still.
She wasn't bitch when you was with her, nigga.
Right.
Now she bitch.
He still hurt then.
Stop that shit, man. Get out of here.
What you
Ja Rule check him though. Ja Rule did check him about it, like, dog, freeze that bitch shit.
Did he?
Ja Rule did check him about that, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it because I don't. But bro, you said what'd you call it today? Early you said ass hurt, butt hurt. What'd you call people?
Oh, it's called ass hurtness, man. You know, when people choose to have negative feelings about some shit, just like earlier in the room with the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. You know, I'm not about to let some shit that another motherfucker do ruin my day. But I didn't see the interview. I just kept seeing statuses saying that Irv Gotti was a clown and a sucker and shit and had a sucker attack. And I was like, damn, what'd he do? Because he ain't want to come up off the Ashanti CD. But I guess if he telling her business and shit like that, it sounds like he hurt. It sounds like he still
they
heard about that shit.
Talking about how he acting and how he was acting.
And just hearing y'all talk about it, it sounds like, I mean, the unfortunate thing is a lot of people ain't taught emotional intelligence, like we was talking about before. Right. So even when niggas get with a white woman and say, yeah, because black women ain't this, that, and the third, a lot of times people speak from a position of pain still. And that they allow that shit to allow them bitter. That's why, like, even on Facebook now, when you see a dude talk about all women or ain't no good women out here, like, I look at that shit and I keep scrolling, but it be like, all right, nigga, it's you. Like, I'm 39 now, so everybody in my age group is damn near 38 and upper, mid 40s. So if you still talking about women, ain't no good women and shit, or ain't no good men, I automatically look at people like, oh, they didn't do their shadow work yet. So Irv Gotti must ain't do his shadow work yet. And the fact that he was a rich ass nigga with this young chick and another nigga was able to peel his chick, sometimes it ain't even about the woman. It's just the one up that a motherfucker feel a nigga got up on him. So he might be hurt like, yeah, Nelly took my, but yeah, it's all right. I contributed to her writing that song because I fucked her right. You know,
Hey,
I don't know what it is.
then at the beginning of the interview, you know, he talking about this watch, like, yeah, Ashanti gave me this. And she cheesing and shit. Ashanti gave me this and got a lesson, got a message on the back. Something you so inspiring. Love for
He
Ashanti.
stuck on her.
You
Hey,
stuck
Yeah,
like
man,
a
as I'm
motherfucker.
reading out, said he was in love when he found out. Yeah, so his heart still fucked up off of that. He was in love. That was his
wasn't
little
he?
baby boo.
Ain't he married or some shit though?
But
Like
then he had a
now?
wife the whole time, and he was in love though. You know how
He's
it be.
divorced now,
Probably
but
not,
I
but
think he was married.
That shit, that's
Listen,
terrible as hell.
yeah.
right? Come on, man. Like, yeah.
He fell in love with the side chick.
I don't know. I guess as a homie, in order to be a good homie, I consider myself a good homie. To all my friends who I'm real cool with, I consider myself a good homie because I'll tell them the truth, right? Like, so if I got a partner who's acting like this, I'll be like, man, what the fuck wrong with you, man? That's some hoe ass shit.
Right.
Why would you know, I would
Right.
every move it would be condemning that. Like, bro, what's wrong with you, man? I'm about to stop rolling with you, man. You be on some. If we ain't doing that to each other, right? Like, then just whatever. I'm down to ride with you. Yeah, she a bitch. Like, bro, it's whatever happened to each one teach one. Like, it's supposed to be,
Right.
oh man. Like, so Kamara saying Ja Rule, so Ja Rule must obviously be his real friend and say, hey, bro, chill that shit, man. You ain't got to talk about it like that. Like, man, it ain't that serious. So, yeah, man. As men, I will say the point of all that conversation is we need to police ourselves and how we behave in front of young men, right? Like, and sometimes how we treat. We don't think about this. How we treat women and our attitude towards women that's conveyed in culture and music and videos and all this kind of stuff. It resonates in how they treat women. Because I know I came up in this generation that made pimping glamorous, right?
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden in the mid 90s, pimping became fabtabulous. It was like, oh no, this is the shit. Are you a player? But the Gators get the Dobbs hats out, cats out here kick her in her booty and make her do her duty and all this kind of shit. We was quoting put a wig on a pig and watch her gig and all this kind of shit. We was out here with this shit. So counterproductive to the community. A lot of brothers didn't end up as pimps. They just ended up a bunch of dudes with kids by a bunch of different women. Right. And then because how many dudes you say, you know, he's a pimp, right? Oh, did you? Yeah, man, he's had little dancers and shit. You got babies by 3 of your dancers. You were not a pimp, bro. You were you was in an exploitive relationship. That's what you was in. You just got to dress up fancy sometimes. So yeah, I think you know that was counterproductive to our youth because they came up seeing us with the gangster shit on, man. I don't give no fuck about a broad and da 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 da. Not really taking the time to say that applies to certain women, not all women, son. And I don't want you to be jaded by that when you go out and deal with females. Make no assumptions, gain understanding, right? So when you out dealing with women, you can't lump them all in because it's gonna be one who's gonna step out of that and check you. Nah, motherfucker, you don't talk to me like that. You know, sister's bad about that. I don't know who the fuck you think you talking to. Damn, my bad. Obviously, I wasn't talking to you. So I'm just saying, man. And with our daughters, I've heard this too, because people tell me, Kev, you talk about the brothers too much. You talk about the brothers too much when these baby girls need us too. Obviously, we do because our daughters are choosing the wrong men, right? So I have a daughter, and I think, you know, my wife has done an excellent job of really doing what she needed to do for her as a young lady. But the masculine part that I needed to put in, I've tried to do it. You know, telling her, look, no, you got to, you have to have value for yourself. You cannot let people do certain things, say certain things to you, encouraging her. No, you look good. Your hair is nice. You know, you can compliment your daughter. Like, I see you, baby girl, you got the hair whip today. That go a long way for her saying, oh, I must be cute today. My daddy said my hair was cool. You ain't got to say, damn, girl, you look good on some creepy shit. I like them jeans when you get them. Like, don't be doing that shit. But be able to compliment your girl and tell her, baby girl, you a cute little girl. You don't need to be messing with no little trash ass dude. He need to be a real man if he want to deal with you. We got to do that for our young sisters too, man. And so we talk about masculine shit a lot, but the little sisters need it as much as you know the brothers do. I'm closer to the young men because I done worked with them, like you know, just through coaching and mentoring and all kinds of stuff with them. So I've always been like, look, I'm about to stand on your head for a minute. You're gonna understand it, as some old folks say, better by and by. That's some old Mississippi shit. The old folks say, you understand it better by and by. throw a biblical quote at your ass. Ezekiel 1, 2, and 3. You be like, I ain't gonna never go and read that shit. What is that? Just say it. What the fuck you giving me the numbers for? But so Kamar, it's Outlaw Radio. I know you've been busy. You've been everywhere though. Like, I mean, bro. You know what? And I gotta say, you showing your ass with that garden. I just want to ask you, what are you gonna do with all that stuff? Do you know how to can? Are you gonna preserve? What are you
Man,
gonna
look, hey, we've been eating meals out of this garden already.
do? Okay.
I ain't bullshit.
That's dope
I
as
go out
hell.
there, look,
That's dope
man.
as hell.
I go out there. I could go out there right now, man. Go harvest some greens. Go grab some peppers and shit. You know what I mean? Come in the house, chop them up, and cook that shit up, and have some collard greens.
Okay.
I just had I had a head of cabbage the other day. We ate cabbage the other day up out of there.
Okay. So you
know
ain't.
what I
That's
mean?
dope.
Man, this
So-
love, man. I'm having a ball over here with this garden. I got a big ass pumpkin patch and shit. I can't wait to get the pumpkin seeds out and roast me some pumpkin seeds and shit. Hey, I got Brussels sprouts growing out there, man.
Why you do the Birdman hand rub like pumpkin seed? Well, I'm gonna be loving on myself that night, boy. Ooh, I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah. And then you know what? Then it's like a lot of stuff that go with it that's fun too. You know what I mean? Like I'll be out there and there be little shit that be going on that I gotta figure out how to fix. Like I had a tall ass jalapeno plant, right? And the motherfucker started leaning and shit because it's so heavy and it got a big ass pepper on the top. So I'm out there, I gotta figure out, I find me a long stick, got me some twisty ties, tied it up to the stick. So I'm doing all type of little shit, making little fences to separate shit, because I'm also learning this year. Like this is my first year growing a big garden. So I'm learning what to do for next year. You know what I mean? Like what stuff can't go next to what stuff. I'm learning you can't really put the pumpkin plant next to shit. You know what I mean? That's got to go in its own space. I'm fucking weird, man. You know what I mean? Then cucumbers latch on to the peppers and shit, but it's okay by the greens. You know what I mean? It's like, but you know what I mean? It's a whole connection, man. You be making out there, man, and yeah, it's dope as fuck.
Oh, I did it before. I did it years back. My wife and I did it, and she was looking at me like, "You don't know what you're doing." But I think she underestimated that I grew up with some Mississippians, right? And that's all we did growing up. So, but that's why I was asking you, because my mom would can stuff. Like, so she gonna grow so much greens that she gonna can it and put it in the bag and put it in the freezer. We eating this shit a year later. Still go down there and get me a bag of beans out the freezer. You go down there and get a big ass bag of frozen beans. She had that shit whipped up quick for your ass. Like, man, that's been down there. So now, Rail, you do the gardening thing too, but what happened to you happened to me. Because at one point my garden was popping. Came home, them little Antimals had went to me. They ate my cabbage. They ate a bunch of my shit. I was mad. Me and my brother put up a bootleg fence after that, and that made my wife hate the garden because she was like, the fence is just horrible. I'm not going out there no more. So what did they do to you? What did they take out your garden?
They call my strawberries, man. I call myself putting little pinwheels up out there because they supposed to spin and keep the birds away. That shit ain't work. So I mean, it might have been the squirrels. And squirrels are a different kind of breed. So it's all good. I just bought me a pellet gun, so next year I'll be ready for them because it got the scope on it too.
Hey.
So they're gonna become fertilizer for my garden. They fuck with my garden again.
Oh man!
I think you should just get some chicken wire or a fence, like, because you ain't gonna be sitting in the window all day like a hunter with a scope looking for squirrels, right?
Yeah,
like
the squirrels gangster. They know when you ain't watching.
Right,
you
he
know
ain't in the
me,
window.
man.
Hey,
I might be
real. Dig this, real. You ain't see him do it the first time.
Right. You know, I used to see the paw marks and shit.
They gangster though.
I used to see them running.
Break in my house.
You see them running.
Yeah, when I go into my backyard, I see them all breaking camp. Like they work together. It'd be the birds and the squirrels back there.
Don't forget the rabbits. Don't forget the rabbits, because the rabbits be there. They be involved too. Like, look, we get the tomatoes, y'all get the cabbage. Cool.
You know what? I don't see no rabbits, but my neighbor got a big ass groundhog that lived next door under his bush. And I don't know if y'all ever seen a groundhog like in person, but that motherfucker ugly. Right. It looked like a big ass beaver without the flat tail, and like even when it run, it's ugly, man, because it like it's so long, like it just like, man. So yeah, he getting popped too next year. I ain't playing.
You got Master Splinter living in his yard. Master Splinter in your garden taking vegetables and shit.
They do be, man.
I gotta feed the turtles.
But there are things that you can put down naturally, like red pepper, hot pepper, cayenne pepper, and it'll keep those animals away. It's all
I think I
natural.
just want to shoot them. I think I just,
And mint. I think mint
I got the scope on this air rifle. I think I want to use it, so I just want to try it a couple
Yeah, I
times.
think mint
good for him
squirrels
too.
away.
Right, he want to sweat something. He just,
Yeah, he do.
Yeah,
Don't even worry
yeah,
about the mint real.
I just want to shoot them
Just
right
use the
now.
scope. Look, I got a slingshot over here if you want to really, you know what I'm saying, fuck with your
I
skills.
had, throughout the years, I had all kind of shit. I had marigolds, I had radishes, I had mint, stuff to detour a lot of them. It worked for some of them. But, just like Kamar said, this would have been my 4th year doing it, just kind of training myself and teaching myself. But this year, honestly, all the shit I grew in the house and took outside died, and all the shit that I tried to plant out there didn't come up. So I said, fuck it. It's all good. I'm gonna let this year because I don't rotate. So I was like, this is a cool year to let the soil rest. So I just been amending the soil and shit like that. So that next year it's all ready. Yeah.
I get you a couple gallons of this old sea moss water.
Oh, okay. Shit,
That's what I've been using that for fertilizer.
That's fly as hell.
This shit thick too.
I seen it. It's beautiful as hell. I was happy for him. Shit, I don't mind my shit not coming up.
I mean, I'll get you some of that. That'll help get some more minerals back in your soil.
What's up with the podcast, Courtney? When you coming back with your joint?
Like I said, some people have pulled up on me in traffic. The guy that be working with Samantha Collier pulled up on me in traffic, actually honked and was like, "Hey man, you need to get back to podcasting." So I don't know. Like I said, I still be feeling like I ain't got shit to say to people. You know what I'm saying? I got shit to say when I'm with y'all, but just me, I used to be down with the interviews and hitting people up and scheduling shit, and it's like, not that season right now.
I can see that.
It might come back in the winter, something like that. I don't know, but right now we're just in all these different mentorship programs and stuff with the business, and like I said, my stuff gonna go in the store soon. So just growing and learning, and just getting all this different shit done, taking all these different classes for holistic wellness and shit. Just trying to be great, kid. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be motherfucking great and get this goddamn money without going back to work. Because niggas ain't trying to go to work, man. That shit whack.
I just be trying to make sure everybody gets a chance to promote what they do, because all of y'all do something, and I be trying to tell people, grab the books from Rail, grab whatever from Kamar, grab juice from Courtney, check out her podcast. Like, I don't think Black people understand how important it is for us to support us, right? Like, so we will invest in everybody else's, every other city, every other, we'll watch their shit, we'll support their shit. Then we skip over the shit that's popping in our own backyard. I see so many people with podcasts now. It's so funny. And it's funny to me because I remember when I started this, like, I didn't start podcasting, but I started my own 7 years ago. People thought I was crazy. Like, what the fuck you mean you gonna do? You ain't on the radio. How you gonna have a radio show? And I'm like, watch. Now everybody has a podcast, right? Like, so all day in Milwaukee, and I'm seeing people from Milwaukee just churning them out. But then they get to the point, like Courtney said, well, like, you know what? I just don't even feel like talking to no goddamn body. I'm just gonna fuck it. I'm turning this off.
Niggas no more right now.
We'll be back, right?
Niggas right.
Luckily, Kamar and myself never run out of shit to talk about. So
and I got shit to say, just not shit to say to them right now. Just
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Just I don't want to talk to y'all. I mean, I'm gonna talk to y'all with Kev and them, but just me talking to y'all. No, and then Facebook and the internet kind of get in your nerves. You were like you said with y'all's show, motherfuckers be having thousands of things, and you got like 20 views. You like, what the fuck, man?
Right. Yeah. We've been up the mountain and back. Like I ain't even gonna play with a motherfucker. Like, if you really doing this and you about numbers, or your feelings are based on numbers, stop doing it. Because you can have one banger one week and we got 3,000 views, and then the next week it be like 30 people. You be like, what we do wrong? Because they play with the algorithms with your show.
Yes.
Like on YouTube, I get people all the time telling me, look, just buy these views. I'll get you better positioning in their SEO and all this kind of stuff. I've had brothers tell me, Kev, you got to invest in YouTube. You got to spend some money. So I'm just kind of looking for some consultation on how we'll handle our social media joints to promote the show. But I like I said, I tell anybody, if you got something to say, do it. If you got something you want to get out, do it. Because you could just really pull your phone out and just do it and just go live from where you at. Or you can put some stank on it, like we do here on Outlaw Radio, and make it look like something, make it feel like something.
I
So,
have a book to tell y'all about.
what's your book tonight?
You can get this book at Five Below for $5. Probably, everybody going up, so it might be like $5.55. To say Five Below, but niggas are raising their price. Just know that. It's sitting there for $6. Know that.
Right. Today's prices aren't today's prices, right?
Right. So y'all know I'm trying to go back to school for psychology. I want to be your favorite Black therapist. So right here we have who do you think you are? My bad. Who do you think you are? This was $5 now by Alice Harmon. It's a couple psychology tests about yourself. Get to know yourself a little bit more, or what you think you know about yourself. I feel like the best way to get to know yourself is do some psychedelics. Do a couple of them natural drugs Miss Beverly told you not to do. But, until then, get you a book or something, take a couple tests, see how I come out.
Get us in trouble.
Get high and read the book, right?
You know what I'm saying? Look.
Don't get us in
trouble. Do I really like that?
I don't know. You know what? I don't know about psychedelic. Like, I guess if you're gonna count marijuana as a psychedelic, then I can say, okay, I'm very well versed at that. But
it's not a psychedelic.
Okay, because I'm not really.
They call it psychoactive.
Yeah,
I'm not really one to go into like the shrooms. One time in college, I did. Everybody got something they did in college one time. Right? I did it one time in college. I did pause type shit. I did the mushrooms one time. Wasn't for me. A little bit too psychedelic. A little bit too when the walls is moving and stuff like that. And I'm just like, you know what? Nah, I'm not gonna really be doing this. I can tell people this. For a certain type of individual, marijuana can be a very, very effective thing. And I know as a youth, the way I was wound, and because of the way things were, I was really, really uptight. But you had to be, just because it was so much shit. You step out the house, there's just so much shit going on. And to be young and have to process it, I was just always, And from the first time somebody said, man, just hit them. I said, I don't do dope. But my mama and them said, that's dope. That nigga, this ain't dope. This is weed. Right. So the first time I did it, and I remember sitting there thinking, like, you know what, dog, I ain't tripping no more. I ain't tripping at all on nobody no more. I'm gonna take care of me. I'm gonna make sure I handle my business.
Exactly.
I'm gonna make sure I want to be focused. Like the music sound better, the food tastes better. So then it became abusive because I just wanted to be high every minute of every day. Right. So until I understood how to manage it, if you're getting to the point where you're getting depressed, you're getting a little down and out, you're feeling a little funny. I would rather take my bowl out and hit it a couple times as opposed to popping a bunch of pills that I got from a doctor, Xanax and antidepressant pills and all this kind of stuff. It is the same thing as me drinking Vitality when I have COVID as opposed to me getting the jug. People say, well, you drank the Vitality and ate the CMO capsules, but you didn't take the vaccine. I felt way more comfortable. I didn't know what was in Vitality. Kamar dropped some bottles off. I said, he said the shit good. I drank it. It was cool. That's not a psychedelic.
Delicious.
It's not a psychedelic. But Kamar looked up like, hold on, goddamn, Kevin, ain't no psychedelic. I know. My point is, whatever makes you feel good and whatever makes you feel comfortable, I would advise you to do it. Like those individuals who say, Kev, I feel safer if I have the vaccine. No problem. No harm, no foul. Go and get it. Right. But the one thing you can't do is not think outside the box. If somebody says, no, I am deeply depressed, there's something wrong with my mind. I've gone to therapy. It does not work. I still have the same issues. Why wouldn't you say I'm about to go try some Highway 100? Wait, what was it called? Highway to Heaven? Hiawatha. Right. Waka Flocka Flame. Go take some of that shit. And he said he played through 50 touchdowns after that.
And then you're not just taking that. You setting up a retreat. You paying like $1,000+. You're not just taking that. Now look, I do got to plug with my shroom man. He got a little DMT $250 for the little syringes. Just let y'all know.
The fact that you have a shroom man is where I start at. Like she got a shroom.
We trying to grow him. Somebody's trying to grow him, not me. Somebody.
Man, how that my shroom man? No, whatever you got to do, man. As long as it's not hurting nobody. And try to stay away from anything that's addictive, because then you lose control, right? Like if you're gonna sip a little alcohol, hey, sip a glass of wine sometimes. Sip you a little yak and listen to some blues or something. I was listening the other night. It was storming. I'm sitting in my garage. I was listening to Summer Rain by Carl Thomas. I was having a great time. I wasn't super drunk. I wasn't super high. I was chilling. I said, fuck this. I'm going to put this in the group. I ended up sharing this in the Facebook group, in our mob group. So I'm just saying, man, whatever you can do, and you'll realize it when you get there. Like, dude, I can really see myself right here where I'm at. I can talk to me and say, man, what's wrong? Like, what's bothering you? Why you can't get over what's over here? Or why you can't put that away? Sometimes you have to alter yourself to do that. I'm not encouraging nobody to do LSD or nothing like that, but I think a lot of us put our trust too much in the medicines that they give us in America. Oh, go take these carmaphrolophoracagram pills. And you watching the commercial, and then at the end they say side effects might be anal bleeding, nipples bleeding, blood coming out of your nose, blood coming out of your eyes, your ass will explode. If it does, stop taking immediately. You be like, well, fuck it, I'd rather just have a runny nose. I'm not gonna do all that shit to stop my nose from running. So do what's best for you, but just don't be afraid to challenge yourself.
Yeah.
To say, you know what, man, I need, you know what, maybe I will. Because some people don't hear weed and say, Kev, that ain't for me. Cool. I say, cool, bro. Well, for me, let me get that shit.
Right.
And so it ain't but it's important for that person to say, I'm not gonna stop here. Weed ain't for me. I'm gonna go find something else. I'm gonna go do something else, man. The point is, we got to do for self, man, because ain't nobody finna help us but us, man. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but ain't no bus coming to save us. It ain't gonna be no national We Sorry Black People Day. It ain't gonna be no national day of white retribution, right? And a lot of these brothers keep talking about when the revolution come. I don't know if that shit's coming. I don't know if it's
the
coming.
revolution or the rapture. Revolution or the rapture.
Right. Either way, your ass gotta go, right? So shout out to y'all, man. Share the show. Shout out to my co-hosts. Always have a great time talking shit with y'all, man. I hope somebody heard something tonight that entertained them, enlightened them.
Is Beauty still on the line though?
She may be because she been a soldier. She is.
That's all.
So
hey, I told you, man, should have just sent her the link.
No, you know what, Beauty, since you stayed in for so long, give some shout outs to anybody who says she earned the shit, right? Like,
right.
No. I'm just listening and getting educated.
Okay.
I'm gonna give shout out to the teachers that's got to go back to school in the next week.
Oh yeah. Okay. Shout out to the teachers, right? Don't let Miss Beverly hear you say that, but shout out to the teachers.
Y'all make sure y'all go vote tomorrow. Y'all know a lot of people dropped out the Democratic race, pretty much just leaving us with Mandela Barnes. They all was just dropping out days after each other, and now, yeah. So it's a couple other people, but just know this: a lot of them names on the ballot are not motherfuckers you can vote for. So, yeah.
Shout out to Mandela Barnes.
Not there.
That's
something last reading not there. It's a couple people that's not on there that you can't. You know, that's gonna fuck the game up. Motherfuckers gonna be signing names, circling shit in.
Yeah, that's part of the game too, man. That's part of their shit too.
Yeah, it is. But there's some bullshit that's going around.
Shout out to Mandela, but you know you could have done this better, player. If you just stayed true to your form, because you already know the first time you was heard on any airwaves was through us at 3041 Live in Chocolate City. You already know that. Hey. I didn't feel no reciprocity coming from back there. I didn't get no inside track interview or nothing. You know, that's how we get when we get a little job. We forget about, you know, those of us who are, I guess, beneath us. Go ahead.
None of the black folks.
I agree with you, Kev. I feel like our the leaders in our community, these older people, you know, they need to be talking to us. They need to be getting with the people in the community. They need to get with the people who got ties to the community, the people who talking to the community. You know what I'm saying? But I will give them a shout out for buying that Vitality up at the Blues Fest.
Yeah, because you would take a picture.
Thank you, Mandela. I appreciate it. Mandela Barnes.
Kamar will take a picture. I'm like, he with the enemy. I'd be mad as hell. Like, why you take a picture with him?
What was Brownsville?
Yeah,
what was Brownsville?
Brownsville is the celebration of the festival for what used to be the black community, the core of the black community before they built the freeway.
Wait, you said what used to be. So it's not the black community anymore?
Well, it ain't what it once was in terms of what it represented. There was an epicenter then, like a cultural kind of business kind of. It wasn't really the ghetto per se. It was a real black community that we supported each other. We couldn't go to the white establishments, so we shopped in those stores. We went to those bars. We stayed in those hotels. Our artists who were famous that came to Milwaukee couldn't stay downtown in the white hotel, so they stayed there. So as soon as the white man said, you can come stay with us, now they was like, fuck y'all, we down here. Come down to the Fister or something, right? So, and the P is silent, motherfucker, just in case nigga didn't know. That's for black people, because people say,
so y'all just have a bowling alley like on 3rd or some shit?
Those bowling alleys all over this city. Milwaukee used to be the capital of bowling in this country. They all gone. I mean, it's
got a black-owned bowling alley. It's a black-owned bowling alley over there on what, like 39th and Valete?
There used to be the last one that I knew of was on like Good Hope somewhere, like 45th and Good Hope. I
And
think.
there's one on Mill Road. Or
Yeah,
that might be the one you're talking about.
unless they just
Yeah, that's
closed
the
it in
one
the
you
last
talking
Mill
few
about,
Road.
Mill
months.
Road.
Mill Road. You're right. Corey.
Yeah.
It's one, unless they just closed in the last few months. You know what I'm saying? It was one.
Yeah, so
That's
we got to
crazy
do
how
better,
we just
man.
don't have like anything just for us. You know, we used to have the movie theater in Northtown. Niggas ain't got that. You know, we going to Wauwatosa. We ain't got no activity specifically for us. I mean, we be fucking shit up. We can't even keep our Walmart decent in Midtown. So
You don't got Burger King in Midtown no more. They closed Burger King.
right.
They closed Burger King, and they're about to close Culver's, which I didn't know was
Culver's,
owned by a
yeah.
black man.
What the
So you
fuck?
gonna have a closed Burger King, a closed Culver's, and a closed Walmart, and a closed Lowe's, and a bunch of other empty shit, and ain't nobody gonna say nothing about it. This shit would not happen in goddamn Wauwatosa or Glendale.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
That's exactly.
I gotta shout out Beauty for rocking with us tonight, man.
That's right.
What's on demand? I mean, what
That's
is
who
that
they voting in
company
right
over there
now,
by
Beauty.
Walova?
That's who we voting for.
I don't know. I don't know what the
Cavalier was
company
the
is now.
alderman for that.
That's
You know,
about to
Cavalier
be
is
a
the
What's
mayor
seller.
now.
going on? And I mean, they had so I thought it was a school.
No, not the old Lowe's. I don't. It's some kind of company now. Dre Day said
It's about to be sellers.
they closed entertainment in Glendale. Are we talking about juniors? I'm really showing my age, right? By saying juniors. Are we talking about juniors? I don't. What did they close in Glendale? Yeah, I'm old. I was going out for a long time, man. What? I got some of them dumbass pictures we be having from the club. Talking about Throwback Thursday. That dumbass squatting down there. He's dumb. I'm like, damn, we old.
All we have in the inner city is chicken.
Cooked by Arabs.
Right.
Chicken cooked by Arabs, right? So
but we don't even know that it's chicken though, because how does Popeyes and KFC run out of chicken and they still got chicken?
If Popeyes be on some bullshit, we ain't got no cabbage for the coleslaw. You want coleslaw? It's just gonna be carrots and mayo. Like they be on some dumb shit, man. Like we ain't got no more
mayo.
We ain't got no biscuit boxes. Well, I can't get the biscuit. Not without the box. I'm sorry, sir. Like, you know what? I'm just gonna pull off. I'm good, man. Yeah, Popeyes doing some bullshit. Y'all make sure y'all rock with us Wednesday night, man. Until then, man, cultivate everything you see. If you see something you say, I want to talk about this on the show, shoot it to us, shoot it through. Do like Beauty and be like, fuck it, I'm on the show. I'm finna call. And if don't nobody else call, you on here the whole
Look, don't hang up. Stay on the line with us. That's right.
You an outlaw now.
Right. I'm the special guest tonight.
Right. Girl, you see me? I was getting interviewed tonight. Whoa, okay. No, man, peace and love, man. Do what you can do, man. Just make sure you're doing for yourself, and then because you can't help nobody else unless you help yourself. That's the biggest part of the story. So you can sell all the dreams we want. If I ain't got myself right, I ain't gonna be able to help nobody, man. So I will see y'all Wednesday night, man. Mo Cushion for the pushing. Outlaw Radio, man, live from the basement, man. I had a damn good time. Peace and love, y'all.